Drake thing.
What about me? What about you?
OVO.
No, I can appreciate somebody's work without hating on them. You know what I'm saying? That's maturity. It's what them OVO niggas lack. Maturity.
You know Drake fan.
Blouse. Boy. Yeah, bro, turn your volume down.
I can't help it, bro.
You can't help the volume on your phone?
I'll be watching videos. It be on.
It's nuts.
What is this? Oh, I thought that was the professor. I thought they did a documentary on the professor before they did an actual documentary on M1.
No, that would be crazy. That would be nuts. I mean, Professor is probably what? He's a top 10 and one mixtaper for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Top 10, top 5, because there was a few of them that made it to the NBA, and Professor was not one of them. Yeah, it was Ray Frost and it was another one that made it there. Skip to My Lou and somebody else.
There was another one. I can't remember what it is though. He didn't have the same career that Ray Frost.
No, Ray Frost was a real hooper for real. Real life hooper.
Long career in the NBA.
Chill, please don't get banned. I don't want to have to ban you in here.
What did he say?
Nothing.
Nothing. He didn't say damn thing.
Not a damn thing.
Oh no. Oh no.
No, it'll get banned.
That's right.
Don't get banned.
Absolutely.
I don't want to have to block you.
Good work, Chill. All right. What are we starting off with first? Do we want to talk about the video we dropped on Friday first? Do we want to do Behind the Cape first or W's and L's?
We should probably save the video thing, the review embargo thing, so we get a bigger crowd in here.
Got it. Okay. Well, let's start off with Behind the Cape like we always do.
Yeah, give me a second. Thought the votes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like the chat.
Like the chat is even crazier. As he walks away from us.
Like the shit. Goddamn.
Chat, what up? What's going on, son? Dynamic duo, what's goody? What's good, Tony Robinson? It's always a vibe when you join the chat. Got 7 people up in here. Let yourself be known. Bro, you froze how did you freeze the screen like that? Like you froze the screen for a second. All right, yeah. Yeah, no, we good. 7 people watching. Let yourself be known in the chat. Trying to shout y'all out, but I only see 2 people. Comment, bro. What's up with y'all?
Are you abusing the chat?
Yes. Chat. Comment, bro. What's up with y'all today? I'm just messing with y'all.
All right, I'm back, y'all.
Oh, okay.
We can stop the chat abuse.
Chat.
Mr. YouTube, Tony Robinson, what's going on?
Yeah, Mr. YouTube 92.
No, they needed your man's back.
Nah, he commented before you said that.
You about to get somebody a whooping?
Yeah. Chat. What's up with you?
My boy came on today's episode as Joe Jackson.
Black Panthro. What up? Yeah. See? Just a little bit of prompting. It's not anything abusive over here.
What are we talking about, folks? It's cool. I won't let him hurt you. What are we watching first? Or what are we talking about first?
Behind the Cape. It's been a really long time since I've seen Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
But people are
at least 10 years. I think.
I was gonna say it's been a while.
They don't even really show it on network television anymore.
Yeah,
I think that's probably where I would mostly see it.
Facts, but people are keeping it alive through really slutty Halloween costumes. For what it's worth, at least Jessica Rabbit is still.
Yeah, I was about to say Jessica Rabbit has a chokehold on the game right now.
Really,
like she got a. I think I seen Cardi B. I seen Lotto. What in Chloe Bailey. She also was in it. I'm like, God, y'all ain't hit the group chat like, hey, I'm gonna be Jessica Rabbit.
Well, I think Chloe was last year, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, no.
Oh shit! What's up, Maze? Maze Madman. Appreciate the view. Appreciate the chat.
Maze Madman. When Chillmonger says OH.
No, yeah, that's nuts. Maze, I need you to handle that. If he come back with that energy. But
well, Chillmonger's just saying it's a troll. But yeah, big OH, trolls, big OH in the chat.
Trolls get dots too. we big bop boop the trolls too. You know what I'm saying? We ain't worry about that.
Big OH is in the chat. You feel me?
Anywho,
We
we
did our
are
big one
talking
yesterday.
about movie and media
Alright.
news right now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway,
Leave Michigan football where it is right now.
well, yeah, Michigan. I don't know nothing about that, but we did our big one. Anyway, Roger Rabbit 2 had a very good script according to the writer of it.
What was it? Robert Zemeckis.
Zemeckis.
Yeah. The first writer director of Roger Rabbit.
But it likely won't happen because Disney would likely not market due to Jessica Rabbit.
So the first thing he said is that they would not make a Roger Rabbit today. Like they couldn't make the Roger Rabbit film they made back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And make that today. This Disney wouldn't do it. And that I guess Jessica Rabbit has a lot to do with it. Again, I agree, but I'm still disappointed because number one, I feel like something like Roger Rabbit is exactly what Disney needs. Like they need an off pitch. They need a curveball. They need something like that to kind of offset the mundanity of what's failing for them right now.
Oh, sure.
Like, people have gotten used to their superhero products failing. They've gotten used to Star Wars failing. They've gotten used to Disney Pixar being very wishy-washy. I would think something like a Roger Rabbit would be a jolt to the system.
What a better way to do that than to nostalgia bomb everybody.
Exactly.
In that way.
And with that, it wouldn't even need to be so much of a nostalgia bomb. There's been so much time in between the last movie and now that you can go brand new story for this. As long as you have Roger Rabbit and Jessica, you can do virtually anything. Like there's really nothing you can't do under the Disney universe. And think about you have so much more you can add to it now.
Yeah.
So back then it was just the cartoons that we were hopping into the toon world. Well, now you can have Roger Rabbit go to Lucasfilm. You can have Roger Rabbit go to the MCU. You can have Roger Rabbit go mess around in Pixar, where he could only mess around with the damn Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse before. You know what I mean? Like we can
much more.
It's so much more expansive of what he could be. It's just kind of disappointing to hear, man. I would like to see another Roger
especially
Rabbit.
If they have a very good story, as he claims.
I wonder if it has anything to do, obviously, with Jessica and her the physical nature of what she looks like.
You could fix that.
You know how you solve it? You cast a real person.
Yeah.
With Jessica Rabbit. Then what? You gonna woman shame the body because she's voluptuous too? It's already weird that like it's anti-woman to have a voluptuous woman as a cartoon.
Right.
That's weird enough. But then would you shame it if it was a real person too? It seems like that whatever the hang up is with Jessica and Roger Rabbit, it feels like it would be easy to get around. I don't know what the thing
Who
is.
Who would
there.
be real life Jessica Rabbit?
Actor wise,
knowing how Hollywood cast today, it'd be Margot Robbie.
I would say Margot Robbie would be up for it.
Even though she's not as voluptuous.
Ooh. Got the perfect one. Anybody watch Succession? Have you watched Succession yet?
I've seen a season.
Shiv. I feel like same skin tone, natural hair color, body shape is very obvious. Shiv from Succession, Jessica Rabbit.
I'd have to see it. I see what you mean, but I'd have to actually see it.
It's perfect casting.
Sydney Sweeney. Yep.
Sydney Sweeney.
That I could easily see.
I tried not to say her name just because it's very, very repurposed. She's everyone. It's kind of like Margot Robbie. She would kind of automatically get a phone call.
Christina Hendricks or Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard could play Jessica Rabbit, absolutely. I think she would actually do the best job, to be honest with you, as an actor.
Chillmonger said Justina Valentine from Wildin' Out.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Hell no.
Nah, that's hilarious. All right. Let's see. What else I got on here?
Mofly says they would also make her what did they say? They'd also make Jessica lose all her looks and make her a lesbian. Like damn, what's the Ninja Turtles girl?
April.
April. That shit really got under my skin. I'm like,
Got
oh,
under a lot
April, a
of
black
people's
girl,
skin.
and now she got to be the frumpy black girl that played
She was
Dungeons and
very
Dragons.
frumpy. Yeah,
that is crazy.
That was crazy.
April had always been kind of like I won't call her eye candy, but she was definitely like an attractive girl. They were trying to show you that she was pretty in some kind of way, and through all the different animation iterations of Jessica of April, and then all of a sudden, oh, April Black now, y'all, but she like
a frumpy nerd,
Lizzo mixed with Little Rel Black. like, fam, what? Why did you have to do that?
Lil Rel skinny now, but Lil Rel back then.
Lil Rel skinny looked like April in the new Ninja Turtles movie.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Like that's exactly what they gave us. Like, why did they? She couldn't just be no normal. Not that she wasn't normal. It just, again, I felt like they went out of their way to make her look a certain way.
They were making her for the 21st century.
Shout out to your boy Seth Rogen on that. Why he got so many problems with James Franco. Oh, I figured out what the beef was
between him and Franco.
Yeah, so Franco apparently opened up an acting school some years ago, right? And there was a number of students who ended up coming out and saying that Franco had basically was trading sex for jobs.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? And his response to it was kind of like, yeah, you know, I made some mistakes in my past kind of thing. Like, but I'm a better person. And so like Seth Rogen, like, nah, get up out of here with that Weinstein shit.
Yeah. And
Franco's more so like, bro, I apologize. I paid millions of dollars, which he did. I think he paid like $20 million to one of them women. Okay. But or into all of them in total, it was a vast amount. Mm-hmm. But in any case, he feels like that's enough, and like you should just let it go so we can be friends again. And we can do Pineapple Express too. That's not an exact quote, but that's the attitude, right? Yeah. And so Seth Rogen is like, nah, you know, you might be a shitty person. You might just be a shitty person. Yeah. That's the beef with Rogen and Franco.
Fair. That's fair. I'll give him that. Okay. Let's get into Regina Hall.
J.O.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with all the Michigan fans today. What's going on?
We in this thing.
You must have told them before, hey,
listen,
show up to our live stream.
I said no such thing.
I wouldn't be mad.
But if I did, I appreciate you from coming over.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad,
subscribe, smash the like.
As long as we're not talking about
smash the like things. You know, we get real hectic when Dubs and L start. I'm saying that's when she get crazy.
Facts.
Not really.
All right, Regina Hall and her production company RH Negative signed a first look deal with MGM.
No, that's dope. I like
very
that.
Dope.
I like what MGM has going on right now. The only thing I don't like is the pricing out that they're doing with some of the more popular content. Listen, especially when you're just starting out, like I think Peacock kind of battled with this a bit too. It really doesn't suit you to try and squeeze every dollar out of your customers if you're a studio that the new MGM cutout is, right? You're not very big. You don't have a lot of titles. When people come into that catalog, they're not going to see a lot. They may pick one or two shows that they're going to watch at that time and then bounce to something else. Mm-hmm. So if I'm already paying you for Prime, do not want to pay again for MGM on top of that.
Absolutely not.
Like the one reason why I hadn't watched From up until you know when we restarted it again was because Epix is who owned From before MGM got it. Mm-hmm. Epix was trying to make you pay to watch it, even though you already had Prime, right? And it was like, well, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll just wait until I can pirate it or see it for free on somebody else's site, right? And so that's what happened. They opened it back up. The ratings went through the roof. Mm-hmm. They seen people were streaming it, and now they're putting it back behind another wall. Listen, okay, I think the same thing's going to happen. People are going to fall off with From because it did get approved for 2 more seasons. Mm-hmm. People are going to fall off again because they don't want to pay you twice for the same content. Mm-hmm. Because once I pay you for MGM Plus, all right, great. What now? Like what now? What is going to suffice that $4.99 a month or whatever it is? I think it's a $2 add-on if you already have Prime, mm-hmm. or it's like $4 by itself.
Yeah, Hulu got
why
going on too.
Why? Even for the $2 a month, just for this show? So you mean for 8 weeks, You want me to pay? You want to? That didn't even make sense because I could literally pay for it for a month, $2, and cut it off.
Right.
What would be the point of even having the MGM Plus?
There isn't.
After that, there's really no point.
You would think that they would hear the loud cries from the consumer in the case of, look, we're paying too much for streaming as is. Like, we've got so many different apps. We might as well go back to cable. Like, think they would see that.
If MGM wants to hoard that dollar that much, then take from off of Amazon and sell it yourself. It's like they want to be able to reap the benefit of the very large customer base that Amazon provides, but then they're not going to expose their product to everyone in Amazon. Just only those willing to pay for it. Well, if that's the case, then MGM Plus should be its own thing outside of Amazon. Like, you shouldn't be. I don't know. It feels like they're trying to double dip.
You're not buying all this content just to make people pay more and more and more for it when clearly they're not willing to.
And then also, you're already licensing it out to Amazon, right? So that's how you're making the money back right there, is licensing it back to Amazon. Why the hell do I need to give you $2 a month?
That's greed.
Like, what are you doing? No, absolutely not. No, fuck no.
We could probably squeeze an extra $2 out of the consumer as well.
Yeah. No. So how do we get on this?
Regina Hall.
Regina Hall. But now, with all that being said, I am very hopeful for whatever Regina Hall has coming out next with MGM Plus and Amazon. Let's see how it goes. You know, I maybe they look back and see how the viewership of From has kind of roller coastered, and they come up with a different plan. Maybe you can just buy early access to the episodes, and then it comes out on Amazon at a certain point. But the idea that I need to pay you for a show that's getting ready to go into its 5th season after this, like, come on, I can't even watch season 1 for free.
Nope.
And they're doing that on multiple platforms too. It's not just Amazon. They're doing it on Spectrum, on the cable platforms. I assume wherever else From is popping up on that is licensed to from MGM. That's what they're doing. You're gonna have to pay an upgrade fee.
Well, now you can pay for Regina Hall's projects as well.
Yeah, I guess.
Eddie Murphy is set to play George Clinton in his biopic, which will be directed by the Dreamgirls director. I can see it.
Yeah, I mean,
I can see it.
I remember when I found out Eddie Murphy can actually sing, and then
okay, Party All the Time.
Yeah, Party All the Time, and then I seen Dreamgirls, and I was like, damn, Eddie Murphy can really sing. So now Eddie Murphy playing George Clinton, where he's not actually going to have to, vocalize as much. He's going to have to. It'll be a little bit more acting than him having to sing.
I can see it, like, and I think he has a voice that's similar.
I like everything about this casting. I think we're in for a hell of a biopic.
I agree.
Hell of a biopic. I can just imagine the soundtrack, and coming from the same director, right? I think we're in for a smash. I think we're in for a banger.
Very great cinematography, very colorful. Disco funk era. Soundtrack crazy. And I feel like the stories George Clinton has, crazy, insane.
Oh, she was a freak.
Definitely thought you were going to sing Party All the Time like that.
Yeah, she was a freak.
I was waiting for a Party All the Time appearance, but no.
Yeah, nah, George Clinton gets him going.
That's crazy.
With me. It wasn't me. Yeah, it was a freak.
Where was all this energy when he was a part of the Bruno Mars Anderson .Paak?
Who's that? George Clinton?
Yeah.
Bam.
You had that same energy.
That was extortion. That was extortion. The label made Bruno Mars do that shit. Anderson was too high to notice what was going on. All of that shit was extortion.
He was too high to know what was going on?
Yes. Yeah.
He was definitely, they were both high on coke the entire time. But that's how you get the great music.
I think Anderson showed up high. They said, hey, we about to put you in this group. He said, cool. They recorded a record and then he disappeared, because what have we heard from that group since that album came out? Nothing.
But I need my R&B artist on coke. That's
you know what we have heard, though? So that album came out. They rushed that group together. The album came out. And then immediately Bruno Mars got shipped off to some residency where he has to pay off a $50 million debt.
He did that to himself.
No, I'm telling you, that shit is connected. This whole shit is extortion. Probably. They working that man to death.
I see that.
They working that man to the ground. Yeah. Now, if we can just all get that level of understanding that that's what's happening to Drake, then I think we will all, understand the music.
I never understood why Kendrick said what he said about Party Next Door, because I need him on coke too to make great R&B music.
No, Drake's just gonna take it.
He's playing with his nose, but he's making good music.
No. The best Party Next Door songs are in Drake's discography, and he's not gonna let him have a hit.
He was on coke to make those. Drake's not gonna do the coke. Drake is afraid of coke.
Man,
I'm just saying. Shout out to Professor Film Fan. Silk Sonic knocked that album out the park. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It was a great album.
Flowing.
Where have they been? Where did they go?
I got nothing for you. We need another Silk Sonic album. Facts. All right.
Talk about leave the door open. Leave the door open for a return album. Come through the door.
That's funny. All right. Game of Thrones movie in the works.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
I want to be excited.
Yeah. Well, he can't be excited because he hasn't watched Game of Thrones. For those of us who have, though, let's theorize, right? Because there hasn't been a writer or director cast yet. There's no talk on what this movie could be about.
It's gonna be a Daenerys prequel.
See, I somebody floated something about Daenerys that doesn't even make sense. A Daenerys prequel doesn't make sense. We literally saw Daenerys.
It's gonna be a Jon Snow
start
prequel.
To finish. Anyways, shut up. That's called Game of Thrones. Here's what I want to see. I want to see Aegon's conquest, his original conquest over Westeros. I want to see Valerian the Dread burn Harrenhal to the ground. I want to see Visenya Targaryen take the little boy from the Vale up into the clouds and then back down to stop a war because the Vale is impenetrable and there was nothing that they could do with them dragons to beat them. I want to see these age-old stories that literally all Game of Thrones lore has been built on. That's what I want to see. People said Rob's Rebellion, and I get that.
Says that right now.
I get Rob's Rebellion, but they've already fucked that up. Literally, we already know where that ends. That story ends with old Brand wooden chair sitting in the Iron Throne, which is disgusting. So I don't think I want to revisit that no more. I would much rather go to a different time period. Now, even if we can go forward, you know what I'm saying? We can go forward in the Game of Thrones lore as well. That's always a possibility. We got a lot of unfinished books, so we could do whatever. If I had to pick, I'd say Aegon's Conquest.
Did they make the show or series or whatever about the black family with the white hair? They didn't do that, right?
What's up?
They canceled that or something?
Do it again.
Black family with the white hair?
Black family with the white hair. Oh, no, that's the Valerians.
Oh, okay.
It's the Valerians. You talking about Chorus.
Yeah, I remember they were going to work on something like that. But
there was going to be a Sea Snake series that was going to be following him and his background, which come on, man. We have not touched anything old Valeria. Nothing. So, it's not even a race swap for that to be a race of black people in Westeros. First of all, the fact that there isn't an area on the earth that black people populate already in Westeros has already been a thing that's kind of been in my ass. But he's an old British white guy, and we don't really got to push him too far into anything else. Just let him do what he wants to do. I'll take his content for what it is. It's kind of like Tim Burton, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to see a black person of prominence doing anything of meaning in a Tim Burton movie. Just let it go. Just let it go and enjoy it for what it is, and toss it back to where you got it from when you're done with it.
We should have got Beetlejuice's Beetlejuice.
We should have got what now?
The little short Beetlejuice dude.
Stop. Okay, stop.
Beetlejuice too. He should have got a cameo.
But that's kind of how I think about George and Black. Now, in the later parts of Song of Ice and Fire, right, with how he helped along with that song, with that part of the TV show, and what he's shown here early on with, how he approved of Corus being who he is in the House of Dragons, maybe that's slowly pushing him towards something. Maybe, I don't know. kind of an old guy. It's kind of late in the game for that. But the closest thing that we've gotten to any melanated people being in Westeros is Dorne, and that's just literally like Middle East. That's like Persia. Like so his focus can't go but 4 or 5 thousand miles outside of what would be
You can't
British
go
Columbia.
any further west than the Middle East.
Than the Middle East. Or as far south as the river that meets the end of his Caucasus land. Because everything that's beyond the big sea is unknown. That's what Arya went to go explore. Arya went to go find the black people.
They fuck around and find some Africans, they'll get conquered real quick.
Arya went to go find the black people. It's crazy. But I mean, it's just like, we know nothing outside of Westeros.
Getting conquered real quick.
Yeah. Anyway,
by Mansa Musa.
To
I don't even know if that's the same time period.
I don't know, because I mean, this is all fiction, right? So you could literally just make it up.
True.
But yeah, I would go Aegon's Conquest. That would be my thing.
Fair.
Bran the Broken. Yeah, for sure. Do you think Zaslav will write this film off at the last minute? He better not. Better not. He done made enough of them damn decisions already. Chorus and his bastard sons. Now that yeah, see, you don't watch House of Dragons, so you don't even know.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, that's tough. Because I mean, he did literally have black children, but then his bastards was black too, so it's kind of like, and then he had some mixed royal children. That's tough. That's tough. Because in one way, he mirrors how most leaders were at that time, and so you expected him to have some bastards out here if he has a house, if he has a name, a title, some land. But then the imagery of it was kind of tough to swallow, especially in some of those moments of exposition where he's talking to his son about it. I'm giving you a whole breakdown of a show you probably not going to watch until 2029.
Well, see, the good news is I've been making jokes this entire time, so I can forget about everything you're saying. So then when I see it, I can come back and be like, oh, okay. Got it.
But the people still want Jon Snow and Dany to rule the Iron Throne together. It's called A Song of Ice and Fire for a reason. That's how they should have ended it. But the moment that they decided to have that flip of the coin, right? Oh, whenever there's a Targaryen born, they flip a coin. Even though they set everything up to make her this like Mary Sue savior character, they just couldn't help themselves at the end, but just poo-poo all over it. Like I didn't even realize how much they were ushering Daenerys along, right? And just kind of moving her past obstacles if she wasn't going to end up being the prince that was promised. If that wasn't going to be her arc, it really didn't dawn on me how much at the time they were kind of moving her along and making things easier for her. But I would have accepted that if they didn't try to convince me that the tales of her character fall off were always there. Oh, well, she nailed the masters to crucifixes outside of the city. Fam, they were brutally treating all the slaves terribly. That's not a sign of a character flaw to me. Anyways, we're relitigating Game of Thrones. The Summer Isles south of Old Valyria is where the black. Yeah, okay. Now I hear that, right? That's where Missandei is from. But look at Missandei. Look at Missandei. Missandei ain't come from nowhere further than Egypt, or whatever Egypt is at that part. Missandei could just as well as be from Dorne. If Corus Valerian is of pure old Valerian descent, I want those Valerians to look like Horus Valerian. That's what I want. That's what I am envisioning. That's the potential that you have for that. Don't give me Missandei and Grey Worm. They could have been from anywhere. I could definitely use Aegon Conquest live action. Fam, would be nuts. You give a movie budget to create Valerian the Dread, be the biggest dragon we've ever seen in a live action project. Ever. Thing would be like 100 times bigger than Smaug from the Hobbit series.
Make an Elder Scrolls show, then I'll watch it.
A what?
Elder Scrolls,
Elder Scroll.
Skyrim, and Oblivion.
Oh, okay, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, do that. Do that thing. Anyway,
let's do it.
Ready to be more upset and have another big conversation?
Sure. What are we talking about?
A historian has come out and decided to call Gladiator 2 total Hollywood bullshit.
Bro.
From what I saw, because of a rhino breed and because there was a scene including a newspaper.
Oh, no. Let's get it right.
A cafe.
Let's get it right. Let's give it its dumbass just due. Let's see. Why is Gladiator 2 total bullshit? Gladiator 2, not the Gladiator series, not the first Gladiator film, but specifically this Gladiator is horseshit because...
Gang, I am not watching Gladiator 2 for any of the bullshit you're calling it bullshit.
The rhinos in the Coliseum were not the same breed as what was in the film.
Don't care.
You mean the rhinos that are being filmed in 2023 and 2024 are not the ones that were there in ancient Rome?
I do not care.
What are you even saying to me right now? What are you saying to me? A scene includes a newspaper and cafe, but the printing press would have not have been invented till 1200 years later. Now, I don't really know if that's even real, if that's a real thing. But fam, again, let's take us through the original Gladiator for a second. Josh, where is Rome?
In Italy.
How many times did you hear Joaquin Phoenix? Did you hear Russell Crowe? Did you hear anybody in that cast speaking Italian?
Never.
Why is it only bullshit? I wonder now that it's not historically accurate down to the T when we're talking about Roman gladiators. Why now, I wonder, all of a sudden, we have to be so historically accurate that the species of fucking rhino have to be the same as what they actually were in the Colosseum. And if they're not, then it's bullshit. Is there anything about this project that you can see that was different from the first one that would need this one to be that much more accurate?
No,
I do. No Church for the Wild in the goddamn preview, and Denzel Washington's black ass in the cast. Just say what you want to say, bro. Just say what you want to say. I don't want no black people in my Roman theater, in my Roman cosplay, in my Roman reenactments. Are you out of your mind? The rhino species aren't the same.
Who would know that watching this movie?
Fam, what are you talking about? We went a whole movie with people speaking British colonial English. And nobody had a problem. You didn't even throw no subtitles up on the screen. No one had an issue. Not even an accent. Talking like they the kings at court at Camelot. Everybody was fine with it. Nobody had a problem.
I'm not paying my $15 for the rhino accuracy. I don't care.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
Insane.
I wish people would just go back to being blatantly racist. Just say the things that you actually mean. I don't like that Denzel Washington is in this movie and they played a rap song in the preview, so I hate it all. So now I'm just going to nitpick at any minuscule thing that probably could be an equal factor to what happened in the first movie, but this one is so much worse because there's it's historically inaccurate. Yeah, my bad. Wrong crowd.
In a newspaper in
a newspaper, fam. I don't.
Bro, insane.
I don't know what else to say.
You ready for some good news?
I thought she was from the Summer House, Masande. Maybe not. Yeah. What's the next one up?
We did it. Scary Movie 6.
Oh yeah.
With the Wayans brothers back on.
So then, who is doing this? Who even owns it? Because Miramax is not a thing anymore.
I don't have the answer.
Who owns this now? And why did it take you so long? Well, you know what? I think Weinstein Company. I think Miramax did the last one. I think they did Scary Movie 5.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But I
So
don't
then,
know.
yeah, okay, that's dope. That is dope. See, now that you know what that was, that was diminishing returns,
Mm-hmm.
project over project.
Yep.
That was the Wayne's brothers also moving correctly in the light of that, letting everything with Weinstein and how he dealt with them and how he tried to lowball them for their project and tried to move on without them, and then everything that happened to him in retrospect of that. So
Karma.
having well, karma's one thing, but also having the maturity to depend on timing. It wasn't the time for them to fight Harvey Weinstein at the time that they probably wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But because they were patient, they ended up outlasting Harvey Weinstein, and now they get the last laugh because they're going to make millions of dollars off of the next iteration of Scary Movie 6, and they're going to get paid what they're due up front for it.
You can be patient when you know the product that you make is good.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yep. Mhm. Like, nah, bro. I'm just chilling, bro. Don't mind me. Yeah, it takes knowing that the product that you make is excellent, even if it's not that same product. Whatever you go on to do is going to be of extremely great quality, and that's where the patience comes from. They can move on to other projects knowing that they're going to make other good stuff.
No, for sure, for sure. And with that being said, there are a few things that I would like to see in Scary
In Scary
Movie
Movie
6.
6.
Number one, bring back Deborah from the dead. This is not a serious thing at all. You can bring her back. Let's bring her back. I don't think you can do Scary Movie without Brenda.
Brenda. Okay, yeah. So we're bringing Regina Hall and Anna Faris back.
Yes. Oh, but must. Both of them. Anna Faris, Regina Hall, Deborah. What is Anna Faris' name? Sydney.
Cindy.
There you go, Cindy.
Cindy and Brenda.
Because she was supposed to be Sydney Prescott from Scary Movie.
Cindy,
from
the TV
Scream.
is leaking.
Oh,
Yeah,
look,
listen.
girl, it's just a bag of bones. Would you run from Calissa Fly High? Oh, man.
That
yeah.
jacket is tight, son. Run that shit, nah, I mean. Yeah, they need to come back. It's official.
Yep, let's run it back.
Yes,
run it back,
absolutely.
Man. Shout out to the Wayans brothers.
Facts. Okay. Samuel and his wife, Latanya Richardson Jackson, spearheaded a multi-million-dollar renovation of Spelman's Fine Arts Building.
Yeah, shout out to them. They were being honored for like a mural unveiling, I believe, because of the donation. We were talking about this was like several weeks ago. I think we was talking to Polo Boy. Polo Boy, what up? If you watching, about HBCUs, and one of the questions I asked was like, man, for years these are like century old institutions. It's the endowments should be crazy. And it's like, is nobody collecting? Ain't nobody got the plate out. If you need somebody to do that job, I'll do that shit. But it's good to see when, especially celebrity alumni come back and do what they can for them. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, even for state-run institutions that should have access to the same funds as their PWI counterparts all around them, we know depending on Uncle Sam to come in and give us our just due is you're going to be waiting for a while. So it's good to see them step in and actually, give something that has a lasting impact. We see so many celebrities trying to do philanthropy through things that like pat themselves on the back. I seen Kai Cenat he's going to open up a school in Nigeria. And it's like,
I saw something about that too.
I feel that. Okay, very Oprah energy. I guess that's doing a good thing for somebody. At the same time, ain't you Caribbean, right? So like, how many times you been in Nigeria? What roots do you have in Nigeria? How are you going to make sure that school is being ran adequately and it's not just going to be ransacked for its resources once you leave? Like, how do you know? What do you know about education? First of all, like what kind of barriers are you putting in place to make sure that you actually teaching these kids and you're not just doing something that makes you feel good, right? Like, honestly, when I see celebrities doing that shit, like, oh, I'm gonna go do this in Africa, I'm gonna do that in Africa. When your base is here, your subscribership is here. A lot of times the lineage is here, not necessarily for Kai Cenat. It comes off as weird. It comes off as like a scam. Like, what else are you doing in this foreign country with all this money? No oversight, no roots, no real plans to continue going back other than for this school.
I agree with
Feels
that.
like money laundering a little bit, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with that, especially when you could be making a potentially bigger impact in your own country's educational system.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Kaisana, where did you go to school? Like, wherever you went to school, it better be a 5-star blue ribbon institution.
Even if it's not, public schools in wherever he was,
Wherever he came from. Yeah, same.
are probably experiencing some kind of pitfall. So, like,
So it's good to
using
see
that
the
money there.
Jacksons keeping that home, you know, relatively, you know, in relation to them, keeping it where they came out, a place that helped build them.
Facts. I think when I looked it up, they it said that they had met
What up, Perp?
in Spelman and Morehouse. So
That's what's up.
So that also adds a little bit to, you know, them donating back to it.
Sure.
Okay. Gen V season 2 is wrapped filming, obviously releasing in 2025.
Yeah, that was a quick turnaround.
Yeah,
that was a quick turnaround.
Especially considering
right what's going on. I didn't expect it to. I expected that to cause a delay. So the fact that they got that out on time, that is very commendable. You know, you can say that they were able to work through their grief a lot more effectively than some others. So
sure,
shout out to them for doing so. And again, still very eerie about how they plan to handle it. I hope it happens quickly and swiftly with the most respect possible, so that they're not just dragging the man's death as like advertisement for the show the whole season.
Facts. And then I've got some Mission Impossible news.
Who you talking about? No roots. We talking about Kaisen not? He has, as far as I know, I don't think he has any roots in Nigeria, unless I'm wrong.
Okay, so the budget for Mission Impossible 8 is near $400 million, which is crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Paramount is interested in marketing the film as the final entry in the franchise to boost audience interest, but Tom Cruise is against a public goodbye to the character.
Fam, if this is the last one, you should probably just let it be the last one. Now, I kind of get it. Ethan is one of those. He's one of those characters in movies that never dies. We've never seen Ethan actually perish or lose, for that matter. I think this last movie was the last time he actually lost. That was the first time he actually lost to an opponent. So if that's a first, and obviously it looks like he's grooming his replacement, and she played Linda Carter. I can't think of her name.
I can't either.
Agent Carter. But obviously he's grooming her to be his heir apparent. It would make sense for this to kind of be a final goodbye.
Paula Patton.
What's her name?
Paula Patton?
No, not Paula Patton. Agent Carter, the MCU TV show.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, her. Paula Patton. What the hell's wrong with you?
Paula Patton is
hey, Paula Patton taking over as the
Jane
lead
Carter in,
for Mission Impossible.
Paula Patton is Jane Carter in the not the last one, but the other one. Which one was that?
I was talking about Agent Carter, the MCU show.
It was it 4? That wasn't 4.
It was Ghost Protocol she was in.
Which was 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she was in Ghost Protocol. I'm excited for this movie for 2 reasons. First of all, $400 million budget is crazy. I know he's going to do something absolutely outrageous, Fast and Furious-esque. Only it'll be much more practical because he'll actually be doing it, whatever it is. The first installment of this farewell of Mission Impossible didn't go as planned because of a couple reasons. I think the marketing was suffering because it was just now starting to get back into the swing of how they were selling movies. And then also he decided to keep his release date smack dab in the middle of Oppenheimer and Barbie and didn't get any lick of the IMAX screenings.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Didn't get any sniff of it. If you release Mission Impossible 7 in theaters right now on IMAX, I think they would make $100 million or close to it. They could absolutely do it because the visuals in that film were not given their just due on a standardized screen. If you weren't watching that on a DLX or an IMAX screen, you just weren't getting the full service of it. And I understand because of the sounds, because of some of the visuals in Oppenheimer, you needed that. Did they really need to split it 3 ways with Barbie? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Barbie was going to be successful regardless. But even still, regardless of whether or not they were on the IMAX screen, Barbie ate up so much of the air in the room at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They couldn't get in there to try to garner any of the positive reaction. And even at that, I think it made over $600 million.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a complete failure. It just wasn't what they were expecting for the part 1 of the final installment to the franchise. So I think it's going to do much better just off of the fact that it doesn't have to compete nearly as much as it did 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I think Tom Cruise knows what he's doing. I think Tom Cruise is going to give us a good farewell. I saw some weird stuff about Tom Cruise also. It's a random story. We can talk about it.
I can only imagine. I was going to say, yeah, with a Mission Impossible with a $400 budget, considering the last one had a less than $300 budget. Yeah, put that in IMAX.
Thank you, Tony Robinson. Haley Atwell. Tom ain't that good. Hey, at Mission Impossible, undefeated. Argue with your mom. Argue with your mom. Can't wait for people to turn on the Mission Impossible franchise if it gets a female lead. Now that is going to be interesting. How successful they handed off to Haley Atwell. That's
what would happen.
Yeah, I mean, Mission Impossible's gone woke.
Yeah, yep.
Well, they can't. I don't know if they can do that because Haley Atwell's white. You know,
she's a woman.
Woke is woke is going for black.
I know that. Well, I thought it was for LGBT and women, all that.
But it's usually when there's a black involved.
Sure.
You know, because we're double for representation. Facts. So we not just that, but we black and.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Mrs. Impossible is crazy.
That is very crazy.
But you may have to take advantage of that naming as a
no, you don't.
Don't do that. Don't do it. No, now you want to take the franchise for real. Call it Mrs. Impossible.
That'd be crazy.
He'll go to the moon for real. He's going to do something crazy. Like he's going to jump out of a real Army helicarrier. He's going to deep dive in the Atlantic Ocean with a camera on his back. He's going to ride the back of a rhinoceros, the proper species of rhinoceros, by my dad. He's going to do something. He's going to do something.
Wait, what? Why did I just catch what you just said?
Mission double D's.
I'm sorry, what?
That's what Tony Robinson said.
Of course, Tony Robinson said it.
Mission double D's. I like the Mission Impossible movies, but Mission Impossible 7 was mid. But I thought it was a pretty good film. I also think it was one of the criticisms that I have for the Mission Impossible franchise is that they don't usually build upon the last ones. Like there are slight Easter eggs every now and again. I think once they got past his wife in Mission Impossible 3, there were kind of constant callbacks to that. But other than that, they don't do a whole lot to try to build on the prior story. And so when they pulled this villain all the way back to Mission Impossible 1, I was like, well, damn, that's like one of the first times I've seen them do that. You know, a death that happened, and not just a death, but bringing a character that was connected to that death, being that Haley Atwell's character is that woman's daughter that got murdered in the first Mission Impossible. So I kind of loved the structure of the story. I thought the action was great as usual. Honestly, bro, it made $600 million as it was off of the leftovers of Oppenheimer and Barbie. Those movies aren't there. We're sniffing in the billion range, 800, 900 million. Don't know if it crosses a billion, but that's where this movie levels out as opposed to 600. What?
Mission Impossible. Mission I wish you'd shut up.
Did y'all know Haley Stanfield is part black?
What part?
What part?
She part black.
Now, which one of Haley Steinfeld, ancestors is black? Her great great grandmother or something like that? We doing some one drop rule type shit, or is she actually like, no, her mother's black, and she's just really really light? Because I didn't know that she was black at all. I like Tom Cruise, but his action scenes, but he is practically Vin Diesel with the Fast and Furious. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's not that bad. First of all, the stuff that happens in Fast and Furious makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. It's not even, suspend your disbelief to make it possible type of. No, it is completely fantasy. Tom Cruise actually does the wild shit that he's doing in his movies. Like, he's actually doing the stunt. So it's hard. When he parachuted onto that train, that I don't know if he actually landed on a train, but that was actually him base jumping and parachuting.
He can only do that for so much longer.
Yeah, while he's able to do it, I'm gonna eat it up. Or in Ghost Protocol, where he was sliding down that building in Dubai, and that was actually him sliding down that fucking 45-degree building. Like, you gotta appreciate some shit like that. If you're actually going to suit up to do that, you get to step over Vin Diesel.
Yeah, they're going crazy about Mission Impossible. Mission and is Mission period. Kim Possible should take over Mission Impossible.
Woo! Y'all on a roll.
Oh man, y'all killing me.
She's black and Filipino.
Yeah,
bro, look this up. No, hold on. No, hold on.
Bro.
Let's see. Haley Steinfeld's parents.
She's half black, half Filipino, bro. She be eating fried chicken and breakdancing.
Yo, cut it out. I need that.
Fried chicken and lumpia.
Let me get us canceled.
Oh man. At least I'm saying the fried chicken part first. That way we know I'm clearly not racist.
I mean, they do say that the Filipinos are the blacks of the Asians.
Is that what they say?
I have heard that before. Yeah.
I'm still wondering why Fast and Furious franchise hasn't stopped yet. Because they still got one more part to the final finale.
Because they're family. Family.
All right, let's set up for it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm way off. Still trying to look up Haley Steinfeld's ancestry.
Because you're really intrigued about it.
Let's see. Peter Steinfeld, white as hell, or maybe Filipino, looks white. Sherry Steinfeld. Steinfeld.
Jerry Steinfeld.
I would say, first of all, Steinfeld got to be a Jewish name. Like, there's no way. That's got to be a Jewish name. Somebody's Jewish in this equation. Now, both of her listed: interior designer Haley Steinfeld's mother. Might be wrong on that one, brother. Both of these individuals look as Caucasian as can be. I'm looking for the slightest bit of melanin.
No, but one of them is Filipino, though.
Is she adopted? Maybe. Is Steinfeld's mom Filipino? Let's see. Her uncle is Jack Steinfeld, a fitness trainer, and a great uncle is actor Larry Dossman. Her father is an Ashkenazi Jewish descent. Yeah. Her mother's ancestry is Filipino, African American, British. Okay, yeah, we're doing some one drop rule shit here. Because if her mama got African American in her, dog. Okay, let me show you Haley Steinfeld and her mom.
No, that's
and you tell me how much black Haley Steinfeld.
Okay. I know what she looks like.
There you go. You tell me how much black and Filipino is in her.
It's a whole bunch of black, bro. It's all in the nose. That nose is not even black. That doesn't even look like a black nose.
Hold on. What was the breakdown they gave me? Murder was the charge that they gave me.
Yikes. Now the sisters can't get mad when she is co-starring with Michael B. Jordan in Sinners.
She's 1/116th black, 1/132nd Filipino.
Mission: do you have a pool pass?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Filipino, African American, British Isles, and German. Yeah, a
I
lot
definitely
more
see the
British
British
Isles
Isles.
than German for sure.
Oh man.
All right.
Yikes.
What's up next? We doing dubs and L's next?
W's and L's, a weekly recap show where we give a dub to the things that we like and an L to whatever that was.
That sounds like candy falling.
Because your dog said, I'm gonna get some of this Halloween candy.
You. What the F? Yep. Go ahead and talk to people. You start because the entire bowl of Halloween candy that you were picking from earlier tipped over.
Oh, it just tipped over.
The whole bowl.
That's crazy. So Rocky ain't had nothing to do with it. It just fell. That's crazy. Insane. She's what you look like when Patrick Mahomes' kids have kids. Oh man, look at the curves, fam. On Haley Steinfeld? No. Or on his mama, or on her mama. You already read that. Her maternal grandfather was half Filipino and half African American. Yeah, so her mom's dad.
So they're saying that Haley Steinfeld's mother's father, right, was half black and half Filipino, and so they must have made Haley Steinfeld's mother with a half British, half German woman.
Half British, yeah, half British Isles.
Okay. So at most, Haley Steinfeld's mother was 25% black.
Right, which would make her some sort of like 12%.
12% black.
Yeah, bro, she's 12% black. That's enough.
No.
That's enough, bro.
Okay, the country is 12% black. We live in a black country.
Black Panther says to racists, that's more than enough. Oh man. Black bloodline keeps getting thinner and thinner. That's a fact.
Hey, talking about Haley Steinfeld and saying that is insane. Talk about the black bloodline.
12.5%. Keep it real. All right.
If Haley Steinfeld start coming out with braids and shit, talking about she's black,
she could do it. She's channeling her ancestors.
Definitely blaming y'all.
Oh man. How much longer do you think you got? All right. I will wait. All right, what else we got in here? That's crazy. Bo just said, nah, fuck it, I'm out of here. Care if y'all about to start W's and L's. I look like Eminem with the hoodie on. I feel like I should rap in a multi-syllable form about absolutely nothing. That's an awfully hot coffee pot.
Oh no.
Oh man.
She's what you look like when Patrick Mahomes' kids have kids. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
Basically. Now that is you talking about now talk about black bloodline. Bruh. The bronzer. Bronzer. That ain't her natural hue.
Nah, bruh. She black. All right, anyway. W's and L's, the weekly recap show where we give a dub to the things that we like and an L to the things that we don't.
Feel me?
Yep.
I'm prepared to go. So.
Oh, look at that.
As always. All right. So I'm going to get through the dubs here first because I kind of have a shitty story to talk about in toss-ups.
You
know. So we'll talk about the positive first. So I'm giving a dub out to Slime first, number one.
Facts.
For a lot of people said beating the case. I wouldn't call 40 years of confinement, probation, and potentially jail winning, but what he was facing, he absolutely overcame this case. Absolutely overcame this case.
And there's never going to be any slime, slat, none of that in his music ever again.
I mean,
he makes music without it.
He has to do what is it? He has to do 4 nonviolent or anti-crime concerts a year.
Can't go back to Atlanta, basically.
Well, no, here's the thing. Here's what's so fucked up about that, right? He's gonna be in place probation, meaning you're gonna be at home on a monitor, but you can never go to the Atlanta metro area.
Yeah.
He's a rapper who's going to be forced to perform for free, but he's not allowed to travel to the area where he's more than likely going to have to perform for free. So the only time he's going to be in the Atlanta metro area for the next 20 years is to do free anti-gang,
what's essentially community service
concerts. Yeah, to do community service, basically. So he gets to, they sentenced him to 40. Then they said they'll basically commute it to the time that he's already served in jail. He gets like 17 years probation at the house, and then if he messes up, he could do another 20 in jail.
And he could the only Codys he can speak to would be his brother and Gunna.
Now, this is what's very interesting to me about the Gunna situation, is that I've seen people trying to post an AI snippet of some music that was supposedly Slime or whatever, talking about the situation, which would have been crazy because the shit literally starts with "fuck the judge." so fuck the judge. But it was alluding to how, like, oh, well, Gunna ain't a snitch. You got an arm around him. I wonder how he's going to, because he can't do anything. He's not going to do anything about it. Not just Gunna, but all of the co-defendants in that case, most notably your boy Woody, right? YSL Woody. I think it's very obvious to anybody who knows how court works and saw how all this unraveled that there are some people who really didn't think that Thug was going to get out of this situation. And they acted accordingly in the court of law when they looked at that situation. He obviously is still going to be making money off of Gunna. So he needs Gunna in the best position possible to make that money. But at the same time, man, play with your freedom like that. I don't know how this situation is going to resolve itself. Somewhere in the near future, I expect a split. I don't think it will be amicable. I don't think that they will leave on good terms. But at some point, I expect there to be a parting of ways. From Thug's perspective, you can't really let this get out of control to no degree with him in particular. But at the same time, you was sitting up there looking at life in prison based off of a lot of these people's testimony. So you gonna really have Woody around you like that? You really gonna have Gunna around you like that? I don't think so. And then if you Gunna, okay, yeah, he talking all this good shit in public. He hasn't really come out and disavowed me, but his kids are making diss tracks to me. Lil Baby unfollowed me. His sister talking shit about me on the internet. Like, there are a lot of signs that this man don't fuck with me for real, and I'd have to be a fool to take his public words about me to heart.
This is really tough, because Gunna is also on an upswing since being released,
and Thug wants to keep him there.
Yeah,
but at the same time, if it requires me to be seen with this nigga or for me to continue breaking bread with this nigga, I don't know if that's gonna be doable.
I don't know, because
if that's
now, how long it'll be doable is a completely different question. But it will probably be doable for the. If that's the case,
bro, you might as well break bread with Woody, because he got the same type of buzz going on right now too. Why not? Try to
type of buzz?
Well, not to the same degree. Obviously, he's an internet personality, and Gunna is a recording artist. I'm saying in terms of the juice that this trial gave them and potential money making opportunities behind it. Like, all right, nigga, you almost put me away. You kick it forward.
Yeah.
All them club appearances, all them podcasts you doing, all of that shit. Kick it forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think we're forgetting that these niggas was all in a gang together.
No, they weren't.
No, no, they were.
No,
they all were in a gang
YSL is
together.
a music collective.
Stop it. According to Gunna, is a gang.
He was made to say that.
No, according to Gunna, is by who?
By his plea deal.
Right, but who counseled him to take that plea deal?
His lawyer.
Right, not at the behest of YSL or Slime or anybody who had anything to do with trying to get Thug out of jail, right? So it would suffice that advice was probably separate from anything that Thug would have wanted, right?
I don't know. I don't know that part.
You think in a trial where they are trying to make Young Thug's record label a criminal organization that he wanted Gunna, one of his artists, to get up there?
No. I'm not saying that. I just don't know if it goes against it. Obviously it goes against it at some level.
Yeah,
but
what?
But
we on trial because they say we a gang.
But Thug still got out. Now, obviously, he starts off his probation.
In spite of that, you think Gunna getting up there and confirming that they were a criminal organization helped him get off?
No, of course not.
Right. So he got off in spite of Gunna, not because of him.
I don't know enough legal jargon to say what I'm trying to say, but I don't know that those two directly. I'll say that, but I just don't know that they're.
All right, fam. Listen,
two things to be true.
I'm on trial. Y'all say I'm doing organized crime. You're trying to hit me with a RICO, and that was probably their first problem. Is old girl Fannie Willis down there, the prosecutor in Georgia? She just can't stop losing, boy. This is a bad year for her. So the YSL trial, RICO trial, which seems now to be a bit of an overcharge for what they ended up talking about, the evidence they ended up bringing, the things that they wanted to focus on during the trial.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like an overcharge,
of course.
But in any case, that was number one. Then the whole thing with the Trump trial, the election interference trial, that whole thing falls apart because, well, the guy I'm having sex with obviously has to run this trial, right? There's no better lawyer in all the state of Georgia than the man that I'm on top of. It is insanity. So you expect to see Fannie Willis, excuse me.
Fannie Willis, yeah.
Expect to see Fannie Willis on MSNBC or CNN pretty soon. I have a hard time seeing her getting elected again after all of this.
Sure. No, facts.
That was my take, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Slime.
Facts.
All right. Next dub I got is going out to Skip Bayless. Skip apparently got shit on ESPN in one of his final years there for criticizing NBA owners on air. And I don't even remember the segment. They did a good job of airing this. Of criticizing NBA general managers of drafting white centers like Myers Leonard in the lottery.
That's funny.
Fam, do you know that they called Skip Bayless into the office? Then he got called into HR over this. And they were so upset. They said, well, why did you have to mention his race? I said, no, they didn't.
Wait.
They didn't.
This is Fox News or ESPN?
No, this is ESPN.
Fox News.
This is ESPN. This is while he was on First Take.
ESPN is that crazy?
No, fam. Just run through your mind right now all the times that you have heard something about a black athlete on ESPN that sounded racially charged, not only because of maybe the person that was saying it, where they took the conversation, but because they mentioned the race of the player, right? Just, or they alluded to it, or they talked about some kind of skin characteristic. Remember the guy, the dude that was talking about the handoffs for Lamar Jackson and said that his skin was blending in with the ball, and that's why he was so good at it.
Yep.
Stephen A. Smith. Some years ago, RIP to your boy Simba, right? Tags Dwayne Haskins as a running quarterback for no other reason than he's black. Literally, there was no other reason to just signify Dwayne Haskins as a running quarterback. He was slow as dirt. He maybe had 5 runs all season. He had negative rushing yards on the season. He was a pure pocket passer. If you had watched in a 5-minute highlight tape of this man, you would know he wasn't no running quarterback. But Stephen A. Smith, sticking with the kind of standardized thinking that is this old tropish type of characteristics of black athletes. Oh, big, black, must be a runner.
There's countless
Must be a runner.
NFL adjacent black stories that they've literally brought race into that they didn't need to.
Fam, the entire Colin Kaepernick saga. But you want to bring Skip Bayless to the floor because he said you probably shouldn't be drafting a Myers Leonard in the top 10.
The fact that it's Myers Leonard is so ironic.
I was about to say that's so ironic that that's the person that they was going to the mat for. That is so ironic.
Oh, that's funny.
But dog, I mean, would you draft, if knowing what he ended up being, would you draft Myers Leonard in the top 10?
In a lottery? No.
Would you draft Robin Lopez is half black, so let's leave him out of that. What about give me some unathletic Brian Scalabrine? Would you draft Brian Scalabrine in the top 10?
No.
Would you draft
is that where we are with white centers? No, Chris Tapps.
Well, yeah, no, but I would draft him top 10.
Yeah, for sure.
But he ain't regular white. He international white. He got a different game.
So we got to exclude all.
He specifically said like Myles Leonard, and I knew what he meant.
Okay.
Tall, brooding, but not athletic, can't shoot.
Yeah.
And is cumbersome in pick and roll defense.
The league is over for all of that bullshit.
Brad Miller. Would you draft Brad Miller top 10?
No.
Like, what are we even talking about right here? It's like white quarterbacks. There's like one every 5 years that is serviceable and that you actually draft. Shout out to Cooper DeJean. And Riley Cooper.
I said quarterbacks. I'm like,
no, cornerbacks,
yes.
Defensive backs.
Yes, facts.
And Eric Weddle. Shout out to guys like that.
And Jason Sehorn.
Right? Every 3 or 4 years, there's one
decades ago.
There's one of them that can actually go, that can actually play in a skill position where they don't usually prosper. Now, we can have all type of black tropes when it comes to these athletes, but if you mention a white athlete being inadequate in any way, why would you bring up his race?
That's crazy, ESPN.
From Skip Bayless.
That's insanity.
Yikes. All right. Give me a second here on my next one.
While you look up that, I'm giving an L to my father for throwing shots at me for wearing ripped jeans on the pod last week. Like, I don't wear them every week. It's crazy.
Nah, I'm just letting you know. That's cool Mo D, bro. If you ain't up to snuff, he gotta let you know.
Relax. That's crazy.
My boy Cool Mo D. All right, here we go. So, want to hear a sad story? Doesn't matter if you want to hear it. I'm gonna tell you anyway.
I won't say you're gonna tell me anyway. I told a sad story last week. So
Josely Barnica, a young woman in Texas. This young woman was pregnant with a baby that was almost certain to be headed towards a miscarry. State of Texas made her keep that baby inside of her and waited until 40 hours. Waited 40 hours. That's how long she waited to receive her care that she needed to stay alive. She passed away. She got an infection and died 3 days later.
Because it's illegal to do an abortion in Texas.
Because it's illegal to do abortion in Texas. And even if her life is threatened, she has to be on death's door. And that's what happened. They let her get so sick that she ended up dying.
You have a duty to save people's lives.
So I wanted to throw that one out there because, number one, in election season, this is always a topic that gets very, very popular to throw out and use as a weapon, but nobody actually highlights the individuals that actually have to deal with it in the real life scenarios that some of this stuff causes when you're talking about it, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to take me directly into my L's.
Okay.
You remember the young lady in New York who was going after Eric Adams?
Mm-hmm.
Olayemi?
Olurin?
Yeah, there you go. Olayemi Olurin. You know, I understand that it is an election time, and that when you come from a when you're coming from a certain angle, you're a liberal.
Mm-hmm.
Election time, you're going to allow a lot. You're going to hold your nose for a lot for your position, for whoever your person is. If you're a voting Democrat,
Mm-hmm.
same thing for Republicans, right? They let Trump do just about anything he wants to do. He's holier than thou.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that continues to confound me is how both of those parties not only actively try to keep third parties out from competing with them, right? Like keep them off a ballot, discredit them, run the old same tired attack ads that they hate to see coming from each other, but they'll just run it to the third party candidate because they don't have as much money or as much reach. And so while I would expect a fighter like Oliemi Olorun, ran up and down Eric Adams' back all the way into his federal charges, to be, a little bit more pressing towards her side,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because Eric Adams was a Democrat. Eric Adams was black,
Mm-hmm.
right? So none of that really played a role in you doing your due diligence as an activist, as a truth seeker, and going after him. So I'm trying to figure out, while we have the racist, fascist, Cheeto head and Trump over there,
Mm-hmm.
we have the VP who's complicit in genocide over there and blatantly stated that she would never do anything specifically only for black people before. And then you have Jill Stein, who's not a perfect candidate, right? By
No,
far.
he's not.
She's the only candidate who's anti-genocide, only candidate that's pro-reparations. And while I don't think she's as far left on a lot of the immigration issues that the Democrats are on, she's not nearly as bad as Biden and Kamala Harris have been these last 4 years. So you would at least think that an activist would give that their fair share, right? Would give that a chance to a progressive. It would at least open that door for a conversation, right? Or if you are looking for more corruptible individuals to do, which you really should do, is turns your focus to Kamala Harris. But, cool. We're not going to, they fighting Trump. That's the only thing that they see. They fighting Trump. So we'll leave that alone. But to turn your ire to Jill Stein and start attacking her VP in the kind of ways that they did over the weekend.
The black guy.
Yeah, man. It shows real weakness coming from the Democratic Party. I'm not going to lie. The fact that they are going so hard at Jill Stein, like I saw some polling that said that Kamala Harris was leading in Iowa.
I saw that.
Okay. If that's true, because Iowa essentially changed the tide for Barack Obama in 2008. If that's the case, why are you doing attack ads on Jill Stein? Could it be that you're losing the Muslim vote in Michigan and Wisconsin and all those Rust Belt states, and you're afraid that you may not have enough delegates to beat out Trump?
Yeah, it's a fear of whoever is voting for a third party is essentially handing a vote to Trump.
I hate the dishonesty. I hate that they sit up there and they wag their fingers while they don't point it back at their own people. I'm gonna get to the point here. Butch Ware had a couple of clips that went viral over the weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
One, he was talking about abortion. Other one, he was talking about trans rights.
Okay.
Now, both of these questions were kind of asked in a targeted way, right? In a way that could be misconstrued very easily if you didn't watch the entire interview. I'll start with the abortion ban one. They asked him if he supports a nationwide abortion ban. What he supports, what he said was, I believe that we should have a limit to anything. And just like there already is a national limit on how long you can have an abortion,
Mm-hmm.
right? I believe that there should be some sort of limit. Now, we can talk about whether or not that's a good answer or a bad answer, or what have you. Does that, me saying that, mean that I support a nationwide abortion ban?
No.
Are you an honest actor if you are trying to say that, if that's coming out of your mouth?
No, you're taking things out of context.
Like if you are reading into that, those words just being said right there. You asked me about a nationwide abortion ban. I said there should be limits to everything, like there already exist.
Mm-hmm.
Does that say I support it? It's not the best answer, but did I say that I support a national abortion ban?
No, you said there should
There
probably
should be limits to everything. Good, fair enough. Why is your girl Olermi trying to paint Butch Ware as if he supports a nationwide abortion ban? The next thing that went viral was him having this age-old conversation that we keep running into, and I, for the life of me, cannot understand where people who take this position want us to say. Right? So they ask him a hot button question about a topic that everybody gets upset about. What do you think about trans women in female sports? Fam, what do you when you're asking that question, number one, I don't think you can ask that question in good faith anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking for one or two responses.
Yeah.
The I don't believe that women should compete, or excuse me, trans women should compete in female sport, or they should be able to compete in any sport or any category that they identify in. Those are the two answers that you're looking for. Neither one are correct. There's absolutely no nuance to that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows you to box someone into either being pro-trans or transphobe.
Right.
Right? There are sports where your physical demeanor, your bone structure, bone density, which are not things that can change off of HRT. I know there was a big thing in that thread yesterday that people were trying to push. Oh, well, if you've been on HRT for so long, it changes your muscle tissue and you lose weight and you lose muscle. You can't change your bones. You cannot reverse your bones. So if you're Leah Thomas and you've competed it collegiately as a man, and then turn around and compete as a woman and win a collegiate title, people are naturally going to question whether or not your physical composition as a male college athlete benefited you even after your transition. And that's not a transphobic question. That is not a harmful or bigoted question. That is science. It's biology. Now, also, there are other sports where that advantage is going to be minimal. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's not really going to make that big of a difference. If you were a tennis player and you weren't smacking the ball at 90 miles per hour as a man, and you didn't have the physical composition to do that, and you transitioned to a woman, I don't really know if you, prior being a man or having certain levels of testosterone, is going to give you a competitive advantage if you couldn't do it. Now, it's easy enough for him to say that it should be handled on a case-by-case basis like it is now. Different leagues should have their different rules like they have them now. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying he gave the most eloquent answer, but to simply say that he doesn't believe that biological males should compete in women's sports does not full stop make him a transphobe. Because again, the one question that I have not gotten answered from the people who take that full stop, whatever you identify in, you should be able to compete in that category, is what about combat sports? And why do we have weight classes if that stuff doesn't matter? Why can't a heavyweight fight a flyweight? Why can't a welterweight fight a light heavyweight? Why do those type of delineations even exist if we are not trying to line things up for maximum competitive, like levelness or evenness? Right? There are very obvious problems with allowing someone who has had a male body into their formative years to compete with women who did not. Regardless of how much soft tissue you think you can remove through that process, it is not going to revert your bone structure. It's not going to make you a smaller person in stature, maybe in weight, width, absolutely. But again, physicality is physicality. It plays a part in athletics. To deny it makes you seem like a dishonest actor. And again, to go this far just to drag down a third-party candidate that you think is hurting your genocide queen is horseshit. Don't come around here trying to be a damn truth teller, but you want to stomp on the Green Party. But you doing op-eds about the fucking Green Party. Do an op-ed about how you bring Kamala Harris left and out of a genocide. Do a column about that. If that option even exists. But it's not just her. It's AOC. It's Bernie Sanders. It's Bill Clinton coming out of nowhere talking about how Israel had a right to be there before the Palestinians that established the state 400 years ago. It's crazy. It's craziness. Stop insulting people's intelligence. But yeah, man, I've always looked out for those type of people, and she's just kind of on my list now. So watch out for her. Watch out for her. I wouldn't be surprised if you see old girl on MSNBC or CNN as well, right along Fannie Willis.
Nah, bro, she got a part-time job at the Breakfast Club.
There you go. Yep. Got to hustle up though. Hustle upwards.
Right.
All right. Brett Hankinson is getting the L from me. If that name sounds familiar, he is a Kentucky police officer who was involved in the shooting of Breonna Taylor. And they have finally found that it's crazy that this was even the question that we were going over, but technically by firing into her home without any visibility, he violated her civil rights. What? Not attempted murder for doing that. But the way he shot blindly into their house to kill her then boyfriend, or to shoot at the then boyfriend, violated her civil rights. So that's how Breonna Taylor ends up getting her justice.
That literally
is through a civil rights technicality.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, L to him all the same. Her fingers smell like bologna. Whose fingers? Myers Leonard knows the lyrics to that MJ song. Who gets more L's between Jeff Teague and Josh's dad? Jeff Teague. Kumo D is a respectable figure.
Yeah, it's way more. I've only given my dad one L today. And Drake gets more L's. That's the answer. Or Charlemagne.
They need a conversational reaction from Butch for sensationalism. I agree. They drug it way too far and they showed their ass about it. So like now I know you're a dishonest actor. Now I know that a certain amount of what you were doing to Eric Adams was probably at the behest of the Democratic Party. Because I always felt it was very interesting that once Eric Adams got off of his neocon shit and he actually started talking about how immigration was affecting the black community in New York. Okay, now all of a sudden we got all these corruption investigations. He's under investigation federally. Seems like my boy may have had a shield for a while and then he lost it because he got out of line for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what it feels like to me, but we'll move on. Adam 22 getting the L for me.
Yeah.
So if you frequent his content, then you've probably seen you probably saw him this weekend with his wife and allegedly his black baby mother.
I'm sorry. What?
Oh, you don't know? You don't know what the latest spin to get him out of his cuckery is?
Lane of the Plug, and he has a black girl pregnant.
I think he miscalculated how the whole hire a porn star to plug my wife thing was going to play. He really doesn't enjoy the cuck energy he's giving off. So to kind of offset that, now he did something to her that makes it okay for them to both be shitty people.
Their marriage is not real.
It was never real.
Yeah.
Here we go. There she goes. This is apparently Adam 22's black baby mama. First of all, give me a card. You're disinvited from the cookout forever. Forever. Never come back. I don't even care if that's actually his baby. I think it's highly unlikely that it's not.
It's highly unlikely that it's not.
It's highly likely that it's not.
Oh, okay.
But no self-respect. Why would you ever do this to yourself, Queen?
Clout. They do anything for clout. They do anything for clout.
But what's work? But so like, yeah, I let a porn star have sex with my wife in a video that's all over the internet, but I fake got this woman pregnant so I can pretend like we're even, or like we do this shit to each other, or what's the calculus here?
Why are you trying to, in any way, shape, or form, rationalize this white man's thinking?
I'm trying to think of it from the standpoint of how he thinks this is going to curry public favor.
Fair.
I
Okay,
think he's
fair.
genuinely annoyed by the fact that people believe. Well, I mean, they have to believe it because it's on camera. We've seen it. But I just think it's probably affecting him more than what he thought it would. So this is the counter to it.
Or maybe just the general drama of it all, he feels like would feed into headlines, not realizing that people don't give a fuck about you. People don't care about you.
People absolutely don't give a shit. Yeah, man, I don't know. More weird energy from
That's crazy.
from Adam there. Oh, I'm giving an L to the Shay Shay stimulus package because that shit might have died with Kamala Harris. How many clips have you seen from that interview that have gone viral?
None.
24 hours in. Well, let me give you the information.
The stimulus of Shay Shay?
The stimulus of Shay Shay.
Because
it's worked for a lot of people.
Has it?
It worked for Cat Williams.
I cared about Cat Williams.
It worked for Marlon Wayans.
I cared about
it. Worked for Tyrese.
Marlon Wayans.
It worked a little bit for Kel. We were talking about Kel for about a week.
But we cared about what Kel said.
It worked for Amanda Seales. We were talking about her for like a month after.
But these are all based off of the things that the actual person said, not anything.
Well, again, you would think that the reason why she went to Shay Shay was because the Rogan connection didn't work out and Trump went to Rogan. So I'm thinking she thought she was going to get a similar bump from Shay Shay that Trump got from Rogan.
Okay, that's fair. But at the same time, she would have to say something that would make me be like, oh, I gotta watch.
I mean, she was talking. I just don't think anybody was watching. 24 hours in, 41,000 likes. This was at 24 hours. 41,000 likes, 120 dislikes, and it hadn't hit 1 million views either.
That's dislike bombing.
Sure, but the fact that it didn't hit 1 million views and it was that disliked,
that
means only the people who are hating on you are watching this.
So
you haven't had any of your folk. 41,000 to 120. Sure, it got review bombed, but only less than 1 million people watching it, and you have 121,000 dislikes. That means only the people who are coming to trash you are watching it.
Okay, so here's where I guess I'm confused. Is that while I don't necessarily know that there's a Shay Shay stimulus package, at the same time, people came in droves to watch Donald Trump go on Rogan. I would expect the same thing for Kamala going on Shay Shay, and for that to not happen, clearly, that's kind of crazy.
If not to get some clarification on the whole black thing, which again is not a major thing for me, but I know it is for a lot of voters. And the answer she gave got progressively worse. We went from shaming people, right? Oh, y'all listening to that disinformation. She always been black. I'm looking at you, Mark Lamont Hill. I'm looking at you, Tamika Mallory. I'm looking at you, Angela Rye. I'm looking at every black person that sit up there and told me they swore up and down that she was black when it didn't matter to me, when I didn't care. I really didn't give a shit. You know, I was annoyed by the whole I clean collard greens in my bathtub shit. Sounds like the most disgusting shit ever.
Yep.
You know, I put sugar in them. I put bacon in them. Whatever the hell. You know, I let all that shit go, but I forgot God's honest truth. I did not care whether or not she was black in terms of how that was going to affect her policy making. But y'all did that. Y'all threw up your black shield for her. And you know what she said when she had to answer the question again on Club Shay Shay?
I'm afraid.
Well, my mother knew what community she wanted us to be a part of. She had an idea of the community she wanted us to be a part of. And so when I grew up around my Uncle Sherman, not biological, and my auntie, whoever else, you know, my Uncle Sherman was the first person black person to graduate from Cal Berkeley. And, you know, my auntie pledged AKA at Spelman. That's what made me want to pledge AKA at Howard. That's what made me want to pledge AKA. She's describing her mother's friends, like her play auntie and uncles, as her influence of black culture. That's what. Let me give you the quote. There's the family that you're born into. Then there's the family that you love into. So what I got from that whole word salad was that the family she was born into was the one that we can verify. The Indian, the half Irish, half Jamaican, all of that, right? The family that she loved into, all her play Uncle Sherman, her play Auntie, aka, that's what she loved into. Now, Josh, let me ask you something. What did we do to Rachel Dolezal when she gave us this same fucking explanation?
I still fuck with Rachel Dolezal.
When Rachel Dolezal told us that she loved black people so much that she lived her life like a black woman, even became the fucking president of the NCAA, the NAACP for a while, of her local chapter. How y'all gave Rachel hell, and Rachel actually wanted to be black. Rachel ain't never claimed to be anything other than black.
That's crazy.
Y'all gave her hell. Here go Kamala Harris talking about she black because she got a black play uncle named Sherman. God damn it.
I never gave Rachel hell until she came out with the OnlyFans. That was crazy. That was insane.
Yeah, man. They didn't need to go that route. If you were going to leave it alone, leave it alone.
Sure.
Leave it alone. Don't even address it. There was no reason for you to play up the black church Southern accent that killed Hillary Clinton. What would make you think you're going to do any better? I swear,
black.
That's what they think. That's what they think of us. Blackface is good enough. Melanated face is enough. They don't have to talk to us policy-wise directly. They don't have to advocate towards us. Hell, they don't even have to have a field. They don't have to field a candidate that connects with us culturally. They just have to throw a black face out there and expect you to follow.
The problem is it does work for some constituents.
Sure.
Not all black people, because we're not a monolith.
I
but
think
it does.
She is facing the kind of problem she's facing now, fighting off third-party candidates in key states, key swing states that she needs to win because of the inauthenticity. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
getting
crazy
late.
Word. Crazy word. It's actually not getting late. It's daylight savings.
It's getting late. I don't understand what the playbook is here for old Kamala, but
yeah, but hopefully she wins because I'm not trying to deal with Trump.
Last thing I got is an L to the Green Party debates. So there was a Green Party presidential debate, or a third party presidential debate.
I was about to say, how did that work?
That's my boy Cornel West didn't even get invited to. Didn't seem like, or maybe he had something else to do. Maybe he was stomping.
Is he
in
Green Party or independent?
He's independent.
Oh, you said third party.
Yeah, it was a third party debate, right? Not going to get into the details of the debate that much. You guys should look it up and watch it yourself if you want to see. But it was interesting because they decided to have musical performances in between. Like literally, they would pause the debate for a musical performance. Swear to God. Craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. They were like,
insane.
Hold on, sir. We're going to let you respond right after this short break. We have a musical selection.
Wait. So in between the
rebuttals. Hold on, we're going to let you rebuttal, but we have a musical selection.
No, you got to let the rebuttal rock.
Fam, homeboy came on like,
I'm sorry. So they didn't even have Dua Lipa or friggin'
Fam, that was in the middle of the debate.
Schoolboy Q.
Listen to how they kicked it off. So obviously they sang the national anthem, right? Oh yeah, they have Black Lady in there doing the national anthem. And boy, she start cracking up through the first verse. Say, can you see? Turns around, looks at the producer and says, "Oh my God, can we start over?" The producer screams at her and says, "No, we're live."
Yo,
this all happened during a presidential debate. I swear to God. Screams at her and says, "No, we're live." He keeps singing, cracks up even more and says, "Oh my God, I'm so nervous."
She's not the only one to ask for a do-over on that, though.
In the middle of live TV.
That is crazy.
And then screaming back at her so loud that it's it's audible over the TV cameras. Like I heard it. He said, "No, we're live."
That's crazy.
Mess.
That's insane. Fergie should ask for a do-over.
Fergie should ask for a do-over. Oh man, I forgot to watch her interview. Of course you did. A lot of people did. Mark Cuban has 300K more views. I believe it. I believe it.
Even Fat Joe was like, that performance sucked.
Haley Steinfeld is blacker than Kamala. Well, that's certainly a statement. That is certainly a statement. But that is it for my.
But he was clearly kidding because he put the little laughy face.
Oh, I wasn't even necessarily disagreeing with it. I was just saying.
It's still crazy. All right. Let's start off with my dubs. Oh, wait. I don't have any dubs. You know why? Because all week I have been watching clips of OSHA Cares Diversity Affairs. Have you seen that?
That shit is hilarious.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Bro is walking through. First of all, I need to understand, how is he, like, I understand he can probably get through a couple of like front desks. Obviously, ask for the manager or whatever.
It's a lot easier than you think.
But there's some places he would probably need.
He looks like he's from somewhere official. He's holding a clipboard.
Facts.
His initial entry is flawless.
Yes.
I'm from OSHA Cares. He's saying OSHA in the middle of it, so it sounds like it
sounds official.
Sounds official, right? I'm from OSHA Cares, and we just wanted to go over these complaints that we got from y'all. And so that gets him into the door to start talking to these people. And the one he did, he was like, yeah, they said you was racist. And then they told him to get his black ass out of there. It was like, oh my God. Yep. He went in there fishing for racism and found it.
I love when he says, like, when I write it down, that means it's real. Like, okay. All right. Fam, I feel like I want to do it. But
he told the people he was going to shut their whole shit down. He said, don't you talk to me like that. I'll shut this whole shit down.
He was talking to the one lady, like, yeah, no, she racist. You should probably just get up out of here. She's not going to treat you no better. Fam, the funniest clips in the world.
Nah, that's pretty
and so I can't remember the comedian's name, but if you're on, I guess, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff.
It's him and dude that be doing like the news interviews or the job interviews and stuff like that. So what's happened? What are you asking me? He'd be like, what are you asking me? Yeah, no. I mean, if he did it and he got away with it, let him go. No, we shouldn't look for him. What did he do exactly? How much did he steal? $100. It's not that much. It's not that much. You should let him go. He probably needed it a lot. What did he look like? He was wearing brown. No, I was somewhere else in Abrago. I had nothing to do with it. But like I said, you should let him go. He probably needed it a lot.
That's crazy.
You know who I'm talking about? He'll be on a job interview and he'll be like, yeah, so when should I know? And he'll be like,
sounds familiar.
We gonna call you back. He'll be like, no, I'd like to know now.
Like, that sounds familiar. I have to check it out.
What if I take less money? I take less money. I take less. I take less and I start work now. It's like, yeah, they're the two best skit dudes out right now. I don't know where Desi Bates fell off into, like, oblivion. He couldn't do black Air Force Ones or white Air Force Ones anymore, I guess.
That's crazy.
We just gonna fall completely off. Drewski's shit is not funny anymore.
I feel like I seen a recent Drewski one that was kind of funny.
Trey Rags is still out there. Shout out to Trey Rags.
Trey Rags wants to be in the Scary Movie 6.
I seen that. I
think they can make it
if happen. I know the Wayans brothers, they will include some people from the younger from the younger generation. That's why I be so confused about when people call Kevin Hart an industry plant, because the first two things outside of his stand-up that I saw him in were Soul Plane and Scary Movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Soul Plane was one of the blackest productions I've ever seen in my life. And Wayne's Brothers was obviously they casted Kevin Hart. Right? I haven't really seen them work together since. Like they low key gave him his break in film. So I'd be
And,
confused about the plant
and he
allegations
was in one of the
about Kevin.
funniest scenes in the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
I forgot about that shit, bro.
I think that was after
40 years.
Scary
Yeah, that was
Movie.
after Scary
Or is-
Movie.
yeah.
Definitely after Scary Movie.
Yeah, but still one of the funniest scenes.
For sure.
But yeah, no. If you guys care, I'll probably drop at least one clip from OSHA Cares Diversity Affairs in here. But definitely go check him out. I was lying though. I do have at least one. I do have one dub. Tyler the Creator did his thing with Chromacopia.
What an album!
Amazing.
What an album!
Amazing.
What
I
an
even
album.
got excited to hear Glorilla and Sexy Red. That shit kind of hit.
Who got the better album out right now, Glorilla or Tyler?
Tyler. Actually,
And
I can't.
If it's
ultimately-
Tyler, it's razor thin.
I
It's
can't ultimately
razor
decide though because I haven't heard the whole Glorilla album.
Glorilla album is fire.
But I'm not
It's
going to
fire.
sit here and act like, because I think some weeks ago I came in here and said it was before it was when Glow just came out. I was like, I don't know if Glow got it.
She's Glow,
got
Let Him Cook. She
She's
got
got it.
several hits
She
on
got
this
it.
joint.
it.
It
But
is
have another one come out.
it's hard, or it's very rare that you see female, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from, but it is very rare you see female driven projects that can stand up
Yeah.
next to fam. If you haven't listened to Glorilla's album yet, do yourself a favor. Pop that bad boy in on your drive to work tomorrow. Same thing with Cornucopia. You know what I'm saying? Excellent listen.
Yeah. No,
Excellent listen.
Tyler's album for me is one of the best albums of the year. Up there with Schoolboy Q.
You want to piss off J. Cole fans?
It's up there with J. Cole.
You want to piss off J. Cole fans?
The top 3 argument.
Can we start to slide? Because I feel like Tyler's been working on this top rapper narrative for a while, right? Since Igor.
Well, he obviously in the album says the hottest in the city outside of Kenny.
Right, but obviously that's not really I don't think that's I'm the best rapper shot. That's more of it's more of a hotline than anything, right?
It is.
But in terms of him and where he stands in the pantheon right now, dog. I mean, Igor, Call Me If You
In the
Get
Pantheon?
Lost.
That's crazy.
Cornucopia, yeah, free marketing. Follow us, watch us on Thursdays. It's really unrivaled, man. The only person I think that's had a better 3 album stretch over the last 5 years is probably Nas.
So
Probably
if we're talking about who's putting out the best quality music album wise, and just overall artistry, yes, Tyler the Creator belongs in a top 3.
Oh no,
But
no,
then
no,
I
no.
also-
We gonna make this thing specific. I want to bump J. Cole out of the top 3 for Tyler.
well-
what do you say?
Well, if we're arguing it based off of album quality and artistry, just overall, then I probably wouldn't have Cole in there, but I also wouldn't have Drake in there either. But I would have Kendrick up there.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Tyler would also.
So we're looking at a top 3 that includes K. Dot and Tyler, but not Drake and Cole.
Drake
well, you know
hasn't
what?
wowed me album-wise.
Honestly, I don't have that hard of a problem saying that about Drake. Cole, it gets a little bit more sketchy, right? Because we still have still got KOD, which I very much enjoyed, and it
Cole
aged.
hasn't.
It aged
Well, I
pretty
like
well.
Off Season 2.
All season was okay. I don't know if it compares to Call Me If You Get Lost or this latest one with Cornucopia.
Okay, no, that's fair. So I would say, yeah, Cole hasn't really wowed me necessarily album wise, but again,
Versus?
Drake definitely hasn't.
Yeah, I would say now if you boil it down to verses, I think Cole easily slides over.
Yeah, I was gonna
Tyler.
say if we're talking about what I've been talking about, the way that they're actually rapping, then Cole is in that's a different top 3
Yeah,
at that point.
okay. I just wanted to piss off J. Cole fans for a minute.
I mean, I guess that is what it is. But yeah, no, I would say Tyler and Kendrick would be in their own top 3 in that respect, I guess. I don't know how you would really separate it. Tyler's just making amazing music.
I mean,
Kendrick's making amazing music. Tyler's making amazing music.
only reason why I asked is because a couple of weeks ago I got told that some of the best projects of this year were from J. Cole, and then so if that's
J. Cole
the case,
did make one of the best albums this year.
Okay, well if that's the case,
But it's behind Chromacopia. It's behind Schoolboy's album too.
it's like we don't even need to radio in. If this is Cole, and this is Tyler, they don't even have to signal into the radio tower. You know what I'm saying? We can clearly see each other. We're clear paths, baby. We can wave at each other as we pass each other.
Cole is probably a top 5 album, but not a top 3 album.
I was only asking a question. I wanted you to answer.
I'm thinking about it. But anyway, hey, Rajon Rondo replaced Ray Allen.
And what? For what? What are you talking about?
That's just what Chillmonger just said.
Okay.
Tyler has sales and album quality. Yeah. Also, making that album drop on a Monday, genius. It's just genius.
See, I had a feeling that Tyler was trying to get in the middle of the Uber drops. So now that he dropped first, are we just playing a game of chicken between Drake and K-Dot? Drake has to drop by the end of 2024. I don't think he can get out of this year without an album.
But it also won't be top 5.
And then K-Dot, I don't believe that he's just allowing, or Universal is just allowing people to use that snippet on national TV if that song is not imminently coming out.
His album is going to drop sometime between now and the Super Bowl.
I think they playing a game of chicken. I think Drake was supposed to drop. K-Dot pushed up on his release date. Drake caught wind of it and keeps pushing it to try to avoid K-Dot. So they playing chicken with each other.
I can totally see that.
I think they playing chicken.
I can absolutely see that.
But Drake has to drop before K-Dot because K-Dot technically is not on a time limit.
Yeah, no.
He could do he can do Not Like Us, Euphoria, Humble, and Money Trees at the fucking Super Bowl, and will live off of those streams for the rest of the year if he wants to.
Yeah, he will live for sure. Off
Drake,
of those streams.
I know that 360 got you on a strict I-10 by 10.
That's a fact too.
I know damn well Lucian is sitting there like, okay, I'm gonna let you play your game, but I better get this album out and it better be a doozy.
We're only about 4 months away from the Super Bowl.
So. You know what I mean? Somebody has the pressure to drop. Somebody doesn't.
Drake dropped a video this week that nobody cared about.
I missed some shit. I'm sure you'll pick up on it, but I missed some stuff in my.
Oh, okay, yeah. Some shit. But real quick, Chillmonger was talking about the Boston's Big Three.
Oh, okay.
Which Rondo was with Ray Allen and all of them.
Yeah, he was the young buck on that team.
It was Rondo, Ray Allen, KG, Kendrick Perkins, and Paul Pierce. Nope. Kendrick Perkins, gross. Cole might have a top 20 album, but top 5 is nuts. No. Top 5 this year for sure.
Who's that up?
Will T.
What up, Will T?
All right. On to my L's. When will people learn to just stay out of other people's relationships business? Like the business of other people's relationships. Right? Mm-hmm. What some people decide to do with their relationship is exclusive to their relationship. It doesn't make anybody dumber. It doesn't make anybody superior because they're handling their relationship a little bit different than yours. Cam Newton and his girlfriend, I believe,
Jasmine Brown,
have come under fire because she doesn't give a shit if he's with other women. And from how I see it, they're having these conversations, honest conversations, and what he refers to as uncomfortable conversations about what is acceptable in their relationship. So calling her stupid for how they deal with their relationship is null and void. It's stupid. Why do we do this?
I agree with you on that point, that people from the peanut gallery probably shouldn't be,
commenting on other people,
giving advice. Yeah. I will say who I blame for this discourse and the blowback that she received. I blame Cam Newton.
I knew you were going to say that.
I blame Cam Newton. And I be hanging on to his words sometimes because you see him contemplating, you see him thinking, right? He's a very intelligent dude. And so you be halfway expecting something intelligent to come out most times. And he just disappoints me so often.
That's fair.
Right? It is very usually an immature. It gives a response that you would expect from Cam 10 years ago. Now, sports related stuff, he's ice cold. Mm-hmm. He's ice cold. I won't line up against him. When he's talking about being a father, when he's talking about being a husband potentially, when he's talking about how he deals with the women that he had babies by, he sounds like the dude. It just sounds like any run of the mill 21-year-old.
That's fair.
And
Totally fair.
it's just disappointing. Like, fam, even if that's the case, right? That you and Jasmine, y'all got this thing set up where you can go out and do what you want to do. Maybe bring one home every now and again. That's for you to know and for y'all to know only.
Sure.
When you come out and you telling people that, like, no, I'm good, I can't get caught up because of this, that, and the third, and blase skip, or she understands we've had these tough conversations. You are, number one, you letting people into a part of your life that they don't really have any business any business being in there. Yeah. So you lose a little bit of the benefit of the doubt when you're trying to say stay out my business on other things. Right? Mm-hmm. You're opening that door, and once you do, people are not going to be very what's the word I'm looking about? Very tamed about how they go through and fine tooth comb your life.
Yeah.
Right. And you really can't have the expectancy for them to have decorum when they're doing it. Because you let them into that.
Mm-hmm. Right? No, that's fair. You can't control other people's reactions to the things that you say.
Number two, he very rarely places any personal responsibility on himself. Like when we're talking about getting married, when we're talking about having kids by multiple women, when we're talking about being monogamous, it's always something wrong with the system. It's always something wrong with the other person. Facts. It's always wrong with society or perception or whatever. It's never what I'm doing. It's never the fact that I'm creating life with all of these different women, which creates financial ties, which creates emotional ties, which creates emotional vacancies with the children. Because it doesn't matter how much money you have. I don't give a shit if you are Robert De Niro or if you are Nick Cannon. If you have that many children by that many different women that live in that many different places of the world, it is impossible for you to make the money to take care of them and also be there for them physically. So something is going to be void. You are essentially signing your child up to be missing a part of their childhood experience so that you can just add another one to the Rolodex. It ain't like you want them around 24/7. Ain't like you planning to spend all your time with them.
Facts.
You're going to spend less time with the new one than the last one's got because he's just adding to the list.
Yeah.
So again, when I see guys try to rationalize this, it's never about what they're lacking that leads them to get to that point. Mm-hmm. They always try to justify it. And then I just don't get it. Because if you're truly living a polyamorous life, then get your compound together, get all of them living with you so you don't have to pay a dime of child support. Do it for real, bro. Be like the Mormons. See, the Mormons ain't playing that shit. Mm-hmm. They not playing no girlfriends all over America shit. No, when they talk about polygamy, that's what they some real polygamists. We living in a compound, baby. 8 sister wives. Let's do it. I'm dealing with the stress of everything. I just might hang myself, but I'm gonna do it.
That's crazy.
That's commitment.
It is.
Don't talk to me about no polyamorous lifestyle and you got them spread all out across the globe. That's not polyamorous. Just got a bunch of girlfriends.
So, yeah, no, I definitely struggled, even though I came off that L pretty fluently. I definitely struggled because I do see Cam Newton as somebody who can dish it, especially when, he's talking about how modern women are and all these different things, but he also can't take it, right? He can't internalize the fact that the reason why you're being with all these other women and can't commit with your woman specifically is an ego problem at the very least. And it's probably tied to some insecurity at some level. Yes, men of wealth do have choice, but the reason why you can't be with the woman who he has kids with, does he have kids with her?
He has a kid with her. One of his kids is with her.
Oh, okay. Is probably due to some sort of insecurity at some level. So I do find some fault in that. And then the other fault that I found in having this conversation is I did just get into Neo's business last week. And so me coming in and saying get out of people's business is a little hypocritical at
some level. Get a load of this guy.
Is a little hypocritical at some level. But I comment on things from time to time. And
here's my thing, right? So if you're Cam Newton and you have the choice of any woman that you want, but you never stop choosing, or if you're Nick Cannon and you have a choice of any woman that you want and you never stop choosing, at what point does it stop becoming a choice? Is it really a choice if you can't stop doing it? Like, if you don't have the control to stop, and you can kind of mask that by, oh, well, I want more children. Well, okay, sure. But if literally you do not stop having them, are you really choosing to have them at that point? Or is it just something that is like
Happening to
really
you?
out of your control, that you were just like addicted at that point?
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. Thought it was interesting though. Okay. I'm giving an L to Lil Wayne and Lil Wayne fans. After all of the grandstanding we did for Wayne to do a Super Bowl performance, for him to come out and do this Louisiana Fest concert and come out sounding as awful as I've heard clips of him sounding.
Oh no, but we told y'all now.
Ugh.
Y'all seen WrestleMania. What did you expecting?
I wasn't expecting anything.
Like, maybe Jay-Z had a hand in all of this, and maybe he did block Wayne. But when I tell you, if he did, there was not much of a fight. There was not much of a fight.
Facts.
At all.
That was pretty bad. I mean, it's not like the vocals in Lollipop are good to begin with, but for them to come off the way you sounded on that stage, crazy. And I would think he wouldn't want to go out on stage in the Super Bowl and sound like that. I would hope
he don't think he sound like that. You got to know that he doesn't believe that he sounds bad.
It sounds terrible. It sounds really bad. Again, the vocals already aren't that good, but they're maybe compounded with auto-tune and things of that nature to sound a little bit better. He didn't sound to have a auto-tune mic on stage, so it sounded really bad.
So who came with him?
Didn't they do a Hot Boys reunion?
Okay.
I think I'm hearing.
So,
which is cool, and props to that, but that is also probably not happening at the Super Bowl. So what are we doing here?
What would have happened? Yeah, it would have been Wayne and Drake and probably Birdman
and Nicki
and Rap a Lot. Oh, Rap a Lot got rated, y'all. Rap a Lot got rated this week. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Hey, listen, man. If you are a record exec or some sort of corporate figure, a CEO, CFO, and you are getting ran through the mug for some sort of corruption charges or trafficking charges or anything like that, you know people are naturally going to try and connect you to the diddler. Yes. You know people are naturally going to try to connect you to the diddler. And honestly, I don't think people have to stretch very far to make that connection between Rap a Lot and Diddy. They come from the same era of music. They both cut their teeth in the same era of music. Again, allegedly or whatever needs to be said here, but I do find it ironic that Diddy goes down and now all of a sudden the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch is being accused of rape and sex trafficking. So.
Facts. All right, I got one last L before I do a toss up. A toss up from a viewer, by the way.
Cool.
All right. I gotta ask you a question before I give out this L. You're a dog owner, obviously. We've seen today. And so if you saw a dog, like a stray dog, and he had some kind of injury, would you feel compelled to kind of rescue said dog?
How injured we talking? Like he just hobbling down the road, or he's like,
he's groaning as
it's a dog.
Yeah, it's a dog.
Yeah,
and I'll even do you a favor. It's a nicer breed of dog. It's not like a stray.
Probably help the dog out.
Okay. Would you do the same for a squirrel?
For what now?
A squirrel.
How would you even go about grabbing a squirrel?
In this case, the squirrel's injured, so it's not jittery and running around.
And bring it into my house? Fuck no. Absolutely not.
Would you ascribe that sort of behavior to just white people in general?
Absolutely. That's the only person who would. That is the only race person who's bringing a rodent into their house on purpose.
Okay, so apparently a celebrity squirrel named Peanut was euthanized after being seized from an owner.
This squirrel, the squirrel that was riding the motorboats and shit, the electric speedboats and stuff. They kill. You are the worst person on the planet if you killed that squirrel.
So I hear you.
Like that's probably the like of any squirrel on the entire earth.
Okay.
That is the one squirrel that y'all can leave the hell alone.
Right. I hear you. But where did we start with that?
Like, what is it about human beings that find hyper intelligence in lower life forms and just kill it? Just smash it as soon as you can. As soon as you can get it.
Euthanize is crazy. You can literally let a squirrel go and into the
bam, put the thing in a tree.
Yeah.
Like we do that with a lot of we got to think about that. We do that with a lot of lower life forms. Fish, you get too mad at the fish, beat his head in when you get it in the bowl. Fly messing around with you can't get it. Put up traps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Rat traps. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You see hyper intelligence in anything smaller than you. There is a naturally ingrained thing in humans to just smash it.
Facts.
Hold on. That fucker is smart. Kill it. Kill it now.
A representative for the DEC stated that the agency began an investigation after they received multiple reports from the public about the potentially unsafe housing of wildlife that could carry rabies and the illegal keeping of wildlife as pets. So that's why they did it. And apparently they went into
a bunch of animals. They had horses and all kind of stuff. Now to come and raid somebody's compound and leave euthanizing a squirrel. It's like, fam, you doing your job extra good. You working extra hard today.
What a waste of taxpayer money.
I would. The fact that they raided this man's house to kill a squirrel tells you everything you need to know about our governmental agencies nowadays. But again, if there was ever a squirrel that deserves some saving, it's one that can drive a speedboat. Like,
so yeah, I don't agree with the euthanizing of it, but we got to this point in the story because he saved a squirrel.
Leave that damn squirrel alone.
He saved a squirrel. It's insane to me. That's just insane. And apparently he did the same for a raccoon too. Or I might have read that somewhere, but saving a raccoon is even crazier to me.
It is.
Because that motherfucker's going to get up and start attacking.
We got one more thing we need to go over. So you got any more Dove news?
Yeah, one other thing. This is from. Hold on. It was our W's and L's. Hurry up. Let me ask the question while I look for the name because he's a frequent commenter and I can't think of his name for the life of me. But basically, he wanted to know: would you consider not paying student loans a form of reparations?
No.
Not at all.
No. And
if it would be included in a reparations package?
You know what, Josh? This is funny. I want to shout out Justin Blue. I'm going to shout out Justin Blue. You probably follow him on Instagram if you know who he is. He was actually on that.
He's on the Real World.
The Real World. Yeah, shout out to him. So before he was on the Real World, he was just a Hotep guy that I followed on the internet, right? And so I was having a discussion some years ago. This was way back when I was in school. Having a discussion about reparations. And I've actually talked about this on the show before. I didn't really have my mind fully where it needed to be, fully decolonized, right? So was parroting some talking points that were honestly harmful and didn't really make a whole lot of sense. But what it led me to was proposing or kind of going back and forth with him, debating whether or not we should get our reparations back in zero interest forgivable loans. And he said something back to me so simple and it's always stuck with me and I've never forgot it. He was like, even if they were telling the truth, right, about the zero interest in the forgivable, because if they're calling it a loan, that literally is all subject to change or have some sort of stipulation towards it. But why would you ever allow somebody, if reparations is a debt that's owed, why would you ever allow somebody to loan you what you're owed?
That's a good point.
Why would you ever allow someone to loan you back money that's already owed to you? If we're saying we're owed reparations for Jim Crow, for redlining, for slavery, obviously, for the black codes, for all of that stuff, if we're saying that we deserve a debt for the 40 acres and a mule that we never received, and the land, the GI bills that we never received, and all that kind of stuff, that all comes up to a monetary amount. That is a debt that is owed back to you. Why would you ever take the form of a loan that's subject to be forgiven by the person that owes it to you?
Well, in this case, though, it's something that you were supposed to pay back, and they would.
But no. But again, that is still subject to the lender. Just because you call it a zero interest forgivable means that it can be forgiven, not that they will, or not that they not that they will without penalty. So again, why would I ever wait or be penalized for money that was already owed to me, and then allow the person who owed it to me to take the penalty?
Yeah. My only problem was, and another commenter brought it up. Now that I think about it. By the way, DeMarcus Vaughn. Don't know why I couldn't think of DeMarcus Vaughn. He, like I said, a lot of our power videos and then the Penguin videos he comments on. Anyway, is the fact that not all of us have student loans.
That's another thing too. That's another thing. So if you didn't happen to go to a postgraduate university in any kind of way, then
you're not getting your reparations.
Yeah, that doesn't clap.
I think it should be a part of a package, though, that it would include more.
I also think that doing something like that, if you want to do lineage-based loan forgiveness, I think that's obviously it would be a harder sell for the rest of the populace, but it would be fine for me.
It would go nuts.
It'd be fine for me. Oh man,
they already go nuts for just regular forgiving.
I was about to say, you see how hard they went against affirmative action. That wasn't even the white folks. Well, it was the white folks, but anyways, another thing for another day.
All right, well, that's all my dubs and L's. I'm gonna turn back on the camera, and we're gonna do the
yeah. We'll talk about the embargo a little bit. So, shout out to Chillmonger, who made a video about our embargo, but didn't tell us whether or not he was going to join it. Yeah, go ahead. My bad. All the important stuff we'll get on camera. But yeah, no, shout out to him for bringing something, not bringing it to light. We obviously knew that it was a work in progress. But kind of bringing center or focusing some of the things that was lacking from our announcement last week about the embargo. So we wanted to take a little bit of time here at the end to explain exactly what we got going on, how we're moving forward. If I can get to the damn page. Not looking at notes from winning time. I'm way too far back.
You still have notes from winning time?
From winning time, fam. Oh, where am I at in this book? There we go. Jesus. H. Christ. Okay. So talked about it a lot. And while there is a lot of things that is lacking from, the black representation at Marvel, from the black characters, we found a way to try and narrow this down that, number one, it was clear enough to communicate, right? I don't want to be up here rambling on trying to explain what it is we want from Marvel. We want it to be clear enough that it could be communicated and also be understood and received in a very easy way. All right. So here's what we came up with. Not a very long list of asks, not a laundry list of demands.
Should be that much easier for them to take care of it.
The bar here is so low that they would need to go to the 7th circle of hell to get underneath it. First thing is A-lister treatment. Now, we all understand what this means for a superhero character, right? Being put to the forefront in terms of the story, being focused, not having to share your story with so many auxiliary characters, giving ample screen time to the main character. For even characters like T'Challa, who to this day is the most prolific black character at Marvel, even he was kind of shortchanged in his own films. as a character, Black Panther in the MCU was only on screen for about 4 hours total. And that's covering about 6 films, 6 appearances.
And now that I think about it, Shuri was even shortchanged considering that movie was all over the place
Yeah,
and
that,
didn't
that, that
centrally
movie
focus
didn't
her
center
either.
her at all. Right. And that is a reoccurring theme for most Black characters in the MCU. It's the same thing for Rhodey. It's the same thing for Falcon. It's the same thing for Samuel L. Jackson, right? Both Rhodey and Sam being introduced as sidekicks, but then trying to be transformed into leading men in year 10 of their tenure with the company. It's an ineffective route. And it's one that is not very convincing if you're telling me that you wanted that character to actually flourish. Right. So we know what that looks like. You know what the Thor playbook looks like. You know what the Captain America playbook looks like. You know what a playbook for a character like where some of the newer characters that they're pushing here.
Moon Knight.
Sure. Even Moon Knight is a good example. Moon Knight is a good example. Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you if A-lister, treating them as an A-lister would involve a trilogy, for example, since the examples were originally Thor and Captain America.
Right. And so, again, who am I to demand that they earmark a trilogy for a character? You know, follow-up projects is a sign of a character growing and being profitable. That kind of is up to the audience on whether or not a sequel is relevant. From the studio's perspective, though, I think you can show in how you put the story together whether or not you want this character to just be a sidekick, if you want this character to be a part of someone else's story, or if they are going to be a force of their own within this universe. And it is very easy to see which ones are and which ones aren't. The Monica Rambos, the Falcons, the War Machines, the Ironhearts, even the Nick Furies, those are auxiliary characters that will wait their turn to be spotlighted. Your Ant-Mans, your Thor, your Captain Americas, your Captain Marvel for a while, you know, until here recently. Those are the people that you are giving mainstay titles to. Those are the people that you are giving the majority of the focus to in the projects that they are involved in. They are not auxiliary. They weren't introduced as sidekicks. They're not treated so even in the ensemble cast. They're treated as equals. I think that's easy enough to resolve.
I felt like that was an important question to have because I do feel like, you know, characters like Moon Knight don't get obviously a trilogy, but then they did give a trilogy to Ant-Man. Or they might give a trilogy to Shang-Chi because there's a sequel coming out for
that. We'll see. Because even the movie like Shang-Chi, where they started out similar to how they were starting out with Black Panther, right? Alpha male character, put to the forefront of his own story, shares a bit of it with his sister, but he's still the main character, right? And had that followed up with Shang-Chi being seen in any movie, any series, anything since, and not just had his writer and director from his film snatched to make the next 2 Avenger movies, then yeah, I'd have absolute confidence that they have faith in Shang-Chi and they plan to perpetuate him like a main character. Except we're going to be waiting 4 or 5 years from his initial experience to even get a follow-up on the character.
Yeah.
So that shows you how much they actually care about that character. And then again, it gets to our next point, our next bullet. I would wonder how much money they actually put into Shang-Chi compared to some of its other movies that came out in concurrent phases.
Or just the fact that we were seeing rumors of, or I don't even know if these are rumors, I think this might have been confirmed, that Blade was having a lackluster budget.
Blade, I believe, was reported around an $80 million budget. Budget dictates how much faith you believe the project is going to bring in. If they don't believe the project is going to bring back a lot of money, that should tell you right away what they feel about that franchise, what they believe about that IP, right? They will give money, they will print money for projects that they think are guaranteed successes. For projects that they deem to be risky or at least risk averse, they give the Mahershala Ali budget. They give an $80 million budget to a superhero. Now, We look at Captain America 1 that was over $100 million budget.
Mm-hmm.
You look at let's see what was Thor's budget. I'll look up Thor. You look up Iron Man 1. Budget.
Iron Man 1 budget 140 million.
140 million for one of the first MCU films. Thor 1 got 150 million. Now you're telling me that in 2011, Thor 1 with Chris Hemsworth, who was basically just eye candy at this point, right? Was not a household name in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Got $150 million to shoot his project for the first installment of Thor. And Blade gets half of that in 2019. Budget dictates worth. Dollars equals worth. If they do not put the money into it, they don't believe in it, and then you will get the type of responses towards delays and problems with the scripts and problems with the writers and problems with directors, those type of responses to that type of stuff that you've gotten to Blade. That's what you get when they only earmark $80 million for a project like that. They don't really care. It'll get done when it gets done. They can feed you all this, oh, well, Mahershala is happy. They can feed you, oh, well, Kevin just really, really wants to get it right. If he really, really wanted to get it right, he'd double the budget. He'd hire a serious director. He'd let them write what they want to write. And there wouldn't be so many hurdles for this project to just get off the ground. Don't tell me something that you have been working on since 2019 is a priority. Budget, A-lister treatment, last one, character history. And this is probably the most important one where we suffered the most. We were just talking about Iron Man 1 in 2003, right? $100 plus million budget. Samuel L. Jackson was in the after credit scene for that movie to help start building what would eventually become the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Samuel L. Jackson, again, was there at the very inception of the MCU and Iron Man 1. Why did we learn that Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury was married in the year 2023 in one of the most lackluster projects Marvel has ever put out? In 2023, Sam entered the fray with the Avengers and Ultron, Age of Ultron. Yep. I believe that came out in 2012 or 2013.
That sounds about right.
Right? We don't know anything about Sam's family until 2020? Yeah, 2020 was when Disney Plus kicked off. So 2020.
2021 is when Falcon and Winter Soldier came
2021, out. Sorry. A whole nother decade before we find out who this man's next of kin is. We're at a similar position with Armor Wars with Rhodey.
We don't know anything
and we don't know anything about him. Nothing. Is he married? Does he have kids? What does he do when he's not flying around in a suit? Hell, make it so bad, Rhodey hasn't even been Rhodey for the last 5 years. It's a scroll.
That's a fact. Yeah.
We got to rebuild a whole new character. And this man has been with this company for a decade.
We got to hope he is loved to know that he's lost after the 5 years.
Another thing that plays in the character story is tropes. They're very heavy on the tropes for black characters. And that's not just MCU live action. That's anything black in Marvel. Right? I call you back to X-Men 97, where the only thing dissatisfying in that show was how the black characters were handled and how their stories were changed and altered. Is it necessary to tell Roberto da Costa's story without his black activist father being involved? I've seen a lot of clips of Riri Williams Ironheart. Haven't seen anything about her father, which was the main motivating factor for her to become a superhero. Nothing about her father. Is Monica Rambeau's relationship with Blue Marvel ever going to play a role in her character development in the MCU? Is she ever going to have a counterpart? You killed her mother off, and now her next closest character is Carol Danvers. Where did her grandparents to go that came and picked her up when they needed her in Captain Marvel 1? I guess her father was never around. And these are the same repeated tropes for every black character you can think about. The only person I can think of that has two live, tangible parents that we've seen still in the MCU, live and kicking, is Lamar Hoskins. And he just had to die to keep his parents alive, huh?
That's crazy.
Name me another set of living black parents that are together in the MCU. But if I did the same for you for white sidekicks, white role or like the side characters or the main characters, there would be a litany of backstory of Aunt Mays, of Foggies, of Karens, of Agent Linda Carter's, of who played the big bad in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Oh, girl.
I can't remember.
Like, fam, there's like 17 Captain America side characters that have showed up in a multitude of projects. Can you say that about Black Panther?
No.
Can you say that about Falcon or War Machine? Like it.
Well, they've mostly decimated or incarcerated Black Panther's
entire family.
Yeah.
So again, here's what we're left with. And again, I feel like these are very basic asks, and they've been set up this way very purposefully because these three pillars right here is how they build stars in the MCU. They do it by treating him like an A-lister upon his arrival, showing him like this is either your star-crossed hero, this is your underdog that you'll root for the next 20 years, this is your larger-than-life dynamo figure. Pump up your star like you actually care about them. Give them a budget that is respectful enough to actually denote a big time win. No one thinks you're getting a big time win off of an $80 million budget for a superhero. No one thinks that.
And to be completely honest with you, I don't think that asking for a trilogy of a black character is asking that much. Now, I understand we're trying to keep it basic so that we can actually get something.
It's not that much, but at the same time,
it's crazy that we can't ask for that.
The audience will dictate that.
Yeah.
The audience will dictate whether or not it's worthy of a trilogy. But last but finally not least, character development. How is this character's history and their lore treated in the development of the character? Those are very, very basic ask. And notice I didn't say anything about a man or a woman. You can do this for Aurora Monroe as much as you can do this for T'Challa. You can do this for Monica Rambeau as much as you can do it for Adam Brashear. You can do this for Shuri as much as you can do it for T'Challa. This is the formula, though. This is how everybody else's community is respected. This is how, once again, we got a yarmulke on Mark Spector's head. Even after post-production on Moon Knight. This is how this is how we start changing imagery in Shang-Chi. This is why the marketing is such that when it goes to China, it completely follows the guidelines that is acceptable for them and their consumer base or the government, however you want to look at it, right? But the respect is shown.
Mm-hmm.
The respect is shown. They expect their dollar, so they go out there and they earn it by giving them what they want. This is what we want. If you agree with us, join us on the embargo. If you don't, we understand. If you have any other questions, hit us up. DM us. Comments is fine. We're not going to stop covering the fiscal news. So numbers, how the products sell, how the things are doing in the box office. But
rumors?
I don't know. That I don't know.
We did not cover rumors in
maybe not here. Maybe not here. Because again, the best thing that a platform can do for one of these companies is to promote their content. And when you're talking about their shows week in, week out, you're introducing it into the discussion. That is the most promotion marketing that you could do for them. we will be turning off that faucet for Marvel until we get a project that feels like we could be proud of. It's nice to root for the superheroes you've always grown up with, and it's nice to have those stories when they play out well, but to consistently have the stories that represent us been lackluster, underfunded, undercared for, and downright dangerous if we're talking Black Panther and Wonder Man. Still no answers as to how those two projects end up being the ones that have the biggest safety concerns. And it really egregious for Black Panther because that's a sequel. Yeah. You guys have literally already done this. This is the same cast and crew from the first movie.
Facts.
But I guess safety standards don't mean anything when it's a black-led project. That is it. Give us your thoughts on everything. The Behind the Cape, Dubs and Nels. What do you think about the review embargo? Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come back next Sunday. We will be here sometime, 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere in there. Facts. But if you're a first-time viewer, we appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe. Come back and see us next weekend.
Facts. Make sure you watch throughout the week as well.
Show. Peace.
Peace.